Right. Mark Carvey, how you doing? How you doing? This is Richard Vobes. I left a comment on one of his videos a few weeks ago, bringing his attention to Sesto EKV and the whole being presumed lost at sea or dead. And about a week later, he made a video about it. Bane Bear, how you doing? Arthur FE, good to see you. He made a video about it. Now, he didn't go into any detail about it. He didn't actually look into Sesto EKV. Certainly didn't go into detail in the video. Hopefully he's still looking into that. Hopefully. But, you know, he's, this guy, you couldn't get more fucking normal than Richard Vobes.
Every day, I switch on my computer and I have a look at...
Hang on. Make sure that you can hear it.
At YouTube, or indeed at my emails, in which loads of you have been in contact with me and sent me links to various things, and they're all extremely worrying. And people are worried. I get emails of people telling me about the dreadful things in different parts of the country that are going on. Things like the chemtrails and the weather changing, things like the antibiotics being removed from farmers' use, things like the digital currencies that are being thrust in our way, the things like the harms that nobody's listening to thanks to a certain medical procedure that the whole world had to endure. And every day there is more bad news. The thing that I'm concerned about is that people watching mainstream media are being fed one load of old rubbish that the mainstream media are giving us. The government are also pushing out diktats about how things should be done, all for our benefit, by the way, all for our convenience. And behind...
I like the fact that we've got this really really nice, articulate, well-dressed, well-presented, very respectable, and very normal man. And so he's going to be talking to a completely different demographic that I won't reach because they're still watching mainstream media.
Behind the scenes, they're doing certain things like consultations that they haven't actually put out publicly, or at least very visibly publicly. They just stuck things onto their website and said, oh, there's a consultation. We're going to be charging you now by the road mile. And so every time you take your car, it's going to be even more expensive. It's a disenfranchisement of the public. All this stuff is there to make you feel grim. And then you go on YouTube, and as I say, there's all these YouTube videos which are equally scary and frightening. And I can see in my comments that many people are saying we're doomed, it's all over, humanity is lost, and things like that, as if they're ready and prepared just to roll over and make it happen. And
I think that's a really interesting observation because that's exactly what it is, isn't it? They're just like, oh, it's done. Oh, we've lost. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do, man. They're too powerful. Yo, Squirrel Sniper. Yeah, I'll put a chat up so everybody can see. Are you the only one in 007? Maybe I'll come over to the Magic Tree House. There's 10 people. So if you're the only one in 007, there's 9 other people in the Magic Tree House. If you want to come over, mate. Poppycock. That's a brilliant word. It's poppycock. He has done some good videos, Mark. He's the bald explorer, isn't he? He's the bald explorer. He's not entirely normal. He's adventurous. He's an adventurous man, but he's very respectable. What happened there? Why did that stop sharing? I didn't do that. He's very respectable. He's very well spoken, very articulate, and like I said, he's going to reach a demographic that I'm not going to reach.
I know that I think many people feel there is very little they can do. They're worried, they're concerned, but they don't know which way to turn. And they think it's a fait accompli and there's no point even getting out of bed. Well, let me tell you, that's what they want you to think.
Absolutely.
That's how they want you to feel.
Exactly.
Disenfranchised, not worth interacting with, that you feel powerless. Resistance is useless. Just lie down and don't worry. Everything will be all right. We'll put you into these 50.
Let's just remind everybody, right? This guy, his YouTube channel, he was the bald explorer. He was a guy that went off exploring on holidays. He didn't get bothered. He didn't want to get involved in this sort of conversation. He didn't want to get involved in this sort of conversation on YouTube. That's not why he started his YouTube channel. He started his YouTube channel to go off adventuring and exploring, seeing new things, experiencing new things. And then, of course, all this happened, like lockdowns happened, and he wasn't able to do his he wasn't able to make his videos anymore. He wasn't able, he got really restricted. And I think that's why he started talking. I think that's what's happened with him. That's why he's talking now. And that's why this is what he's, these are the things that he talks about on his channel. Dragonfly, how you doing? You're back. And Raven as well. Raven, if you didn't hear me earlier, I wanted to say, I don't think you were about, you sort of dropped off. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for that tippy stream. I get that on Monday, so I checked the payout on it, and it's on Monday, so that's freaking awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, this guy wasn't a he wasn't a he was a bald explorer, and now he's
15-minute
needs to
cities
weigh
will
in.
continue.
But he's got normal viewers. He's got 99,000 subscribers, and these people aren't truthers. His subscribers, maybe there are some truthers, but his subscribers are predominantly
We'll
normal
lock you
people.
down. We'll give you some sort of universal credit. We'll feed you some bland food. Just sit behind the screens and your life will still be okay. We'll take away your house and we'll put you in 16 meters of living space, and that's it. And people do feel, I can see that from the emails that I get, that it's hopeless and that there is no answer. But that's not right. That isn't true. In my opinion, and I'm just saying that this is my
Gillian,
opinion, that there
you are absolutely 100% correct. It's all down to our consent. Every single thing that happens, it's all down to our consent. Hey, how you doing, babe? Here we are. Look, I'll put a link in the chat again. If anyone wants to come on and chat with me. Jolly man. I actually don't know. Sasquatch, how you doing, bud? Squirrel Sniper. There's a link there. Come and join. Somebody, one of you, all of you.
there is everything to live for and that there is everything to fight for. And it may be that we're going into a battle that we, the people of this land, of the world, can actually win, and that we should feel empowered. I know it's very difficult to feel empowered, but we have, as people, inalienable rights. We are.
Hey,
Hold on, babe. The echo. What's up?
you're right.
Can you see me now?
I didn't hear all your stream earlier. I came over and I shared it on my stream. But what I was doing, I was trying to use up my 5 hours. I had 5 hours left, and it resets today on StreamYard. So I used up my 5 hours to make sure I got my full 20 hours free out of them, and I come back on Restream now because I've used my 5 hours. I have to wait until midnight or something.
That's pretty cool. You can only use 5 hours on StreamYard.
No, you get 20 hours free. You get 20 hours free on StreamYard. Hang on, let me sort this out. You get 20 hours free on StreamYard, but on Restream, it's unlimited. That's why I quite like using. It's unlimited, and you can stream to 2 platforms or 2 channels for free. Yesterday, the sound was really bad, though. The sound that we had real bad issues, and I had to stop the stream and then start it again on StreamYard. But do you mind? Can we just listen to some more of Mr. Richard, Mr. Richard Vobes?
Yeah.
Because I just want. I haven't listened to this whole video. It's like I listened to the first 2 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I want to share this because I want everybody to see that really they are. The normies are starting to wake up, and they're starting to. All right, they're really scared at the moment. The normies are shitting themselves, absolutely fucking shitting themselves, all of them. You know they are because they're buying into all this crap. So it's good that this guy's saying the right things to them.
Sovereign. We must remember that. We must not all rights. We are sovereign. We must remember that. We must not believe that they have any power over us. We must rebut their terms.
Because that's exactly what it is, right? The power that they only have it because the deal is we are lending them our power, our fucking power, for them to try to basically organize society the best way, that is the best way for us, that has our best interests at heart. We the people, for the people, by the people. You know, what's going on in America should be happening in every single fucking country. You know, that we the people, you know, for the people, by the people. That's what government should be. That's how countries should run. We're all in this together, and if we can decentralize a lot of it and have small communities. Yeah, there'll be shitloads of small communities, fucking shitloads of them. But it's like little families, isn't it? And everybody is just, man, this earth could be such a cool place if people just, you know, stop being so silly.
And stick up for ourselves. One of the tactics they're doing, of course, and we've seen this so many times, is divide and conquer. They put us among ourselves. So in this country, for example, at the moment, we see a lot of illegal immigrants coming in, and many of them are coming over on rubber boats. They're from different nationalities. Their culture is very different. And the media is selling them as a hostile force in a way. And we're putting them up into hotels and even now in private accommodation. And the reaction from the public, of course, is naturally to be somewhat hostile to these people.
And right, why is it racist? Why is it racist to be protective of your country and protective of your people, and to not like it when a bunch of military-aged boys come over armed with no intention to work, just to sponge off the state, get put up in free housing, get everything handed to them on a platter, when you've got, the same as in the US, you've got military servicemen, like men that have served their country and like were willing to give their life for their country, but they didn't get killed. They just lost a leg, or you know, they were seriously injured. They've got PTSD. They're not able to they're not able to participate in society in the same way because they've been affected by the fact that they served their country. They didn't serve their country. They served the fucking, you know, we all know they served their masters, and what's going on is not, we're not being told the truth at all about what's been going on. It's all bullshit. But when they do it, they don't go into that job thinking, you know, that's what they're doing, do they? They've all been sold this. Everybody's been sold this lie that they're protecting their country and they're protecting liberty and they're protecting democracy. Can you hear me all right then? No. You can't. All right, so we got sound issues with them. They're having the power only because we give them our consent to have it. Well, yeah, it's like I said, we are lending them our power. That's the idea. That's the deal. We're lending them our power, our authority. We're giving them the authority. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, what it was when I put my headphones on, then the audio, yours would start getting a little glitchy and I couldn't hear you. And I was like, oh, fuck this. I'm taking those back off.
Are
So
you
that's
on?
what I did.
Are they on Bluetooth?
They were, you know me, babe. They were Bluetooth.
Yeah, that's why, babe.
They
Bluetooth is
sucks
pain.
so bad. And the shit that don't get, I'm on that tangent today, love. Not the Bluetooth tangent. Not today. After the damn week I've had. I needed you last night and you were in the bed. And I'm still processing this whole conversation. Is Papa Squatch is Sasquatch still in here?
I don't know.
Because, oh my goodness.
Papa Squatch. I love
You
that.
chatted
Papa
with him
Squatch.
late in the middle of the night, right? Have you ever had a drunken Sasquatch chat?
No, because obviously I don't. When Sasquatch is drunk? I've had I've been on the line with Sas when he's had a little tipple.
Yeah.
He's funny, yeah.
Funny is an understatement. Funny was an understatement. But yeah. I was like, there's a reason why Rich lives way away from me and you live a distance enough to where I'm not willing to travel at any given time unless it's an emergency. So that being said, be aware if you guys want to get in the Sasquatch after dark, it can get very, very weird real fast. So then I have to come and ground myself with Richie. That's what I always do. I'm like, I gotta go find some like calmness and like balance for a second because
here he is, Sasquatch. Oh, hey, Papa Squatch. There's a link there if you want to come in, mate. And if anybody's in my 007 channel, there's only a couple of people watching in 007. So if you want to come over to the Magic Tree House, there's more people there. I'm just keeping it on because I've got people subscribed there that aren't subscribed to the Magic Tree House, I think. So get everyone subscribed to everything. Everybody should subscribe to each other, all content creators. If you're a mod and you've got a wrench, you can share your channel if you're a content creator.
I didn't realize that you can be a standard mod or you can be a management mod. I didn't know there was two different kinds.
Yeah, they've changed it. No, they've changed it in the last sort of month or something. They've changed it, and you have management moderators and standard moderators. So I just make everybody standard, you know.
Yeah, do
what's
too.
that link for? Curious Squirrel, what's that link for? Is that your channel?
I think so. I know he dropped me one yesterday because he finally found out he could do that. Or excuse me, sorry guys, that he was able to do that. I burped. That was extreme. I've had a really rough couple days. But you know what?
I just need to.
Despite all that, for some reason right now, I still feel very like okay. Like I don't know what may happen from one minute to the next. It's still very despite all that is up in air, but like at the same time, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. And I know that at the end of it, I'm gonna be good. I'm good now. I'm gonna be even better then.
Yeah.
But I've grown a lot. You know, I'm sure you've known me for a while compared to the rest of the chat. I've grown a lot in just the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But it's because
I think everybody has, though. Like I've seen everybody has grown, you know.
A lot of self-reflection.
I feel like I don't want to sit here saying, "Yeah, man, I've grown shit." Like, can I? Is it okay to sit here and say, "I think I've grown a lot in the last 3 years"? Like, just in the last 3 years, let alone the last fucking 10 years, or you know, Definitely. I mean, I know I can say that in the last 10 years, I've definitely grown a lot. But the way
You've gotten a lot
things don't
calmer,
affect me. So,
even more calmer.
yeah.
A lot calmer.
Yeah.
I hope that I have.
Yeah, you are.
But that's
I
me.
do feel, yeah, I'm definitely calmer. Cool. We're getting some links up here. Jenny TI. I'm gonna sub to some people here. Is that
Theology.
you?
There was
Sorry, say it again.
that comment about the geology. I wonder if that how do y'all feel about Randall Carlson? I mean, I think me and you talked about this before a little bit because they have a YouTube creator coming with them to Asheville in a couple of weeks. Um, I think it has to do with mud flood stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's really why they're here. They're doing a conference, but I think they're also in between the conference stuff. They're going around places here and looking at evidence of mud flood stuff. That's what I think, but I don't know.
Who's that again? Say that again.
Randall Carlson, Graham Hancock, and Jimmy Corsetti and his bright insights.
God. Graham fucking
Yeah.
Hancock.
Yeah. Because it's like I have a hard time with them too. Because when they get to a certain level, you know what I mean. It's hard for me to believe that they're not gatekeepers. You see what I'm saying?
Graham Hancock is 1000%. He's either a gatekeeper or he's just a fucking idiot. He's just an absolute he's either a gatekeeper or he's a complete plum. Because I believe Jason Brashears when he says he's read all the same books. They've both read the same books. And how Graham Hancock can come to the conclusion that he's come to, knowing the same things that that Jason knows, which is that a shah is not a year. A shah is not a year; it's a day, and those kinds of things. That
Wait, he should
he's
know. His
deliberately
wife is
ignored.
Indian.
Say again.
His wife is Indian.
Graham Hancock's.
So he should know more about that than.
The thing is, Graham Hancock's been on the scene forever. So Graham Hancock has always been like they would have got to Graham Hancock 20 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
He's always been like his wife might even be a fucking handler or something, you know? It's like they get handled. They get handled. And if they're getting millions of views and millions of subscribers, you can bet your fucking dollar they're being handled.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
So
okay, so how do you feel about Joe Rogan? I know that's a dumb question.
I think Joe Rogan's another he's a gatekeeper, but he does serve a purpose. Like the trouble is it's being able to trust other people to use their own, to use their discernment and to just to realize that the only reason sorry, I just read a comment and it just put me on for a second. No, it's gone. I just read the comment from Gillian to Jenny TI. I've subbed as well, Jenny. So I'll check your stuff out over the next
I'm gonna have to get. I will check that out too. Because I'm up late at night. Well, what does their late at night mean? Is that your late or my late? I don't abide by day and night. It's just what time it is or whatever.
Yeah.
Like all intents and purposes, it's daylight right now. This is kind of like what most people do in their evening time. and my
Mm.
work is later on in the night.
Well, I think like I'm the same. I don't. I like the morning, so I like to go to bed and wake up naturally around sunrise. That's how I like to be. But I don't. I haven't since for the last. Excuse me.
Bless you.
For the last 10 for the last 14 years, I've not had, other than going to gigs, but
Right.
that's a different, and it's work, but it wasn't work. It was
Right.
like,
And if you
that's
make your
why I
own
wanted to be a musician.
Yeah.
Just going, it's the monotony of it, like having to go every day and sing the same songs. It becomes a little bit monotonous, but it's still more enjoyable than any office you could ever work in.
It's
Um,
freedom.
I like to be able to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning if I want, because it doesn't matter if I sleep till fucking 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, I'm not
And that's
saying
how
that.
we should all have our free, our time.
Be able
These
to
jobs
decide
that
that.
people have to do, this whole thing about, having to work to earn money to pay rent and buy food. Rent and food should be free for everyone. Everyone should have somewhere to live, roof over their head, food in their belly, and some form of transport
Yeah, it
as a
doesn't necessarily have
God-given
to be
right.
car, but some form of transportation. Everything you just named off is the only thing holding me back from being able to do what I fully want to do on a day-to-day basis. That every one of those
Yeah,
things is why I struggle.
yeah,
And the core reason of why I struggle stems all the way to when I was a 14-year-old child, impregnated by a 16-year-old child as well. And then his parents bullying my parents into making a decision about my body, in which I was never even asked at all. Now, I don't regret my children. I do not like the fact that I was into that without even consulting me, and the disrespect that I still to this day receive from her dad and his mother. Yeah, it's made me. It make you feel some type of. That even just now started occurring to me. And two of my kids are fully grown. And then I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, Emma, that was your body. They did not even ask you. And your situation should have us mandated to ask you and give you the final say, not their son, who was clearly breaking the law. And had I not begged my dad not to press charges, would have fucking jail. That for you, and you won't even co-parent with me to this day. You'll have one of your bitch ass wives be my middleman. I don't play that shit. I don't like that. But that has a lot to that's just one of the many things that led up to why Em is mad and always mad. Because I'm really not. If Rich knows I'm really a happy person. Really. I am. And I say I hate people, but obviously I don't, because I love all of y'all. It's what
it's all in
it
the
is.
moment.
Did not
It's
find
all
my
in the
tribe.
moment. It's just,
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
in the, you're fiery. That's what it is. You're just a bit fiery. Angel Wings, thank you. You are an angel. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's
€20
so
to my
sweet, guy.
PayPal. You're an absolute bloody angel. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. I was running because
PayPal's quite good.
whatever.
They don't take too long, so they're quite good.
I had PayPal,
So
but my PayPal got.
your
I was
PayPal
talking
what?
about you this morning before you actually. Was this morning or last night? But said right when I got my PayPal, the first thing I did, it was where I got my PayPal like within a couple of days of finding Rich, and was watching his at the Colonel, and he it was the first time he did the one chat where you can do the super chat or whatever, and add. And the first thing I did was like, oh yeah, that's right, I do have a debit card. Boom, that man needs some money.
Was that to super chat or to?
I can't remember. No, I think so. 'Cause you said it was the first time you actually did it, and then I was the first one.
Yeah, so right. So because they demonetized me.
Yeah.
There's 70 euros sat in my
Yeah.
AdSense
That's right.
from the super chats that I had. There's 70 euros sat in. They've still got it.
Yeah, man, you were
I haven't
talking
had it. They
about
still
that
haven't
not
given
too
it to
long
me.
ago. I was like,
That was 3 years ago, and they've still got it.
and that video, that whole stream was awesome. So I watched the whole thing. And then for some reason, it was still running because you came backstage after you were done and was talking to all of us. And that's when you realized that I had sent it to you. And then you was like, oh, that's the first one I've ever bought. And I was like, oh my God, I was like, wow. But I didn't realize you had just enabled it that night, or somebody else would have been the first one. But I was the first.
Was I in the
I just want to
Colonial?
say, I was his first. I'm his pet.
Well, we met on Daisy's channel, didn't we? Over on Daisy,
Yep.
Dame.
We were both on Daisy. And then Rex left a
Yeah.
comment on you had been watching that same video, and you was like, oh wow, Rex, I'm surprised to see you up here. And I was like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
And we've been together ever since. So yes, I'm his pet. Leave him alone. I won't. Like y'all may not see me all the time. That don't mean I'm not stalking his ass because
my little pet M.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I'm definitely annoying at times, and he's like, I wish you'd just stop and just. But she's so cute. Come here, let me pet her.
No, because you're just an angel. You've got a heart of gold, absolute heart of gold, and I know, like, you've been through and you're going through with the situation.
And I'm still kicking. I get with a smile.
Yeah, and you're still that's it. You're tenacious and
Mama
you're strong as fuck.
Daddy didn't raise no fool. That's for sure. Oh my God, my mom just thinks you are just gorgeous. I'm serious. I was like, well, duh, Mom. I mean, duh. She was like, no, Em. I was like, Mom, that's why he lives. Because he can't be near me. I was like, I would not know what to do.
Dana, this is what I've been saying.
I say this all the time.
Everybody just down tools. Like everyone. Down tools. Go out on the street. Link arms. And
just
I don't know, or just have a party. Everybody go out on the street, take some drinks and some food and some music, and everybody just goes out on the street and starts to party. And they don't work; they just party and they dance. And the police come along and say, "You can't do that," and you just flip them the bird and say, "Fuck off. We're done. We're done. We're not. We're going to dance to our own tune now. We're not dancing to yours anymore. We're not running the rat race anymore. You want to go and fight a fucking war? Go and fight it. Go on. Let's go and see how you do.
Sometimes,
go on, Mr. Zelensky. We'll set Zelensky up against Putin, right? Put him in a fucking ring, and we'll see who wins, shall we? Out of Putin and Zelensky in a ring, we can stick their whole administration in. Mate, it's not. It would be quite an unfair fight, really. It'd be a little bit cruel to watch it.
It really would.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, Zelensky would never get into the ring. You push him into the ring and he'd run away crying, "No, please, no, please."
Please, what the fuck are you talking about? He ain't trying to get dirty. Putin,
listen,
start off feet down, and it wouldn't take 2 seconds to knock Zelensky's ass out. Right,
Putin and Biden.
I don't won't talk about Putin like I won't talk about Hillary.
Putin and Biden, right? Putin and Biden. That would be completely unfair. Like Biden, we can't put Biden in a ring. We can't do it. You do not hit senile
It would
old
be like
men.
putting the Big Show
It,
against
it
Rey
doesn't.
Mysterio Jr.
It doesn't matter what. Like literally, it really doesn't matter what they've done. Like Biden could come up and grab your wife's tit and try and stick his tongue down her throat, but you can't hit him because
You feel bad.
he's a senile old man. He's not. His brain is not there. He's fucking not there. Like
you can tell.
so.
Did you see those kids that they were at Halloween? Bless those dear children.
Say that again.
I was watching the antenna on Halloween at NBC. NBC was at the White House because Joe and Jill were outside giving out candy. They already look enough as it is, let alone you have to see them in person. I've never seen these kids. I've never seen kids so scared, and literally having to drag them because they want to get the selfie with their kid and Joe. But the kid is looking at Joe like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, get away from me. Like, it's so sad, but it's so funny at the same time.
It's noticeable. It's noticeable to how uncomfortable people are, particularly young women, young women, children. They're just not comfortable around him.
Why are we doing this?
Didn't you have like an uncle or something like that?
Yeah.
Did you have an uncle that like was just a really old? Like if you punched him in the face, he might actually die. Like because that's the thing with Biden. I think if you were to fucking hit him in the face, if you were to knock him out,
his body does shit himself daily. They got him in diapers. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I'm sure about. You can tell by the way he walks. You can tell by the way he walks. Shit himself. Right. The way that's it as well. The way he walks like a senile man with dementia.
Yeah.
That's what senile men with dementia walk like, with their hands out in front of them like that, like taking it slow, one step at a time. They don't move the other foot until they Have you missed the bit about
when they put him on the bike? They were trying to kill him.
Yeah.
They know that. That man should not have been on a bike.
I mean, maybe they were thinking, "Hey, yeah, go on then, let him go on a bike. Maybe he'll have an accident." But I don't think. I think him falling, because I remember watching it when he fell off his bike. Right, he fell off because his foot was stuck on the pedal, and he couldn't get his foot got caught on the pedal, and he couldn't get his foot off in time, and to put it down and stop himself from falling. And that's it. It was just a bit unfortunate, really. It was like I can see how it happened. It was just a bit of an accident, but that would only happen to an old man. It would only happen to an old man that wasn't quite sure of himself, whose balance, whose equilibrium wasn't quite there.
Had no business being on a damn bicycle.
Rachel, hey, how are you doing? Rachel Macaskill. And Holistic, have you missed a bit about the normies waking up? I've been offline for nearly a week and I'm late to the stream. Is it time to celebrate? Are we there yet? Well, I'll tell you what, right? Let's go, but let's just pop back to Richard Vobes. So the reason I say the normies are waking up, India, is because this guy was a normie. He's the Bald Explorer. He had a YouTube channel that just went, exploring stuff. But I don't think he was ever. He never had plans to be a commentator, social commentator, political commentator. Nothing like that. He just went off and went on holidays, went exploring, and did a vlog of his, and I actually quite like watching things like that. And certainly a couple of years ago, I used to like watching stuff like that. But because of the lockdowns and everything, it kind of put the kibosh on what he was doing. And because of the contact that because he was in contact with his subscribers, he's got nearly 100,000 subscribers, and he obviously was in contact with them. And the questions that were coming his way and the things people were saying and what he was seeing himself, he's started talking about it. And he's pretty red-pilled. He is very red-pilled. And so it's... Well, he's not very red-pilled. But he's taken a red pill, and it's slowly working its way through his system, and he's opening his eyes. And I feel like I've managed to get him to open his eyes to something. He hasn't looked deeply enough into it, as far as I'm concerned. Richard, you need to come on, sir. I was expecting you to, turn that brain to it, to find something that I haven't found, and educate me. But Sister KV, I told him about that. He was talking about a free man on the land, and I left a comment saying, thanks to 1666, Charles II, Sister KV, we are no longer free men on the land. We are now all presumed dead or lost at sea. And he obviously looked into it, because he did a video a week later saying, hey, and the way he talked about it was really clever. He just kind of, he was talking about stuff, and then he noticed, oh, look, in the graveyard, all the names are all in capital letters. And then he got back home and he noticed that his bills, all the name was in capital letters, and that's strange. And so he looked into it, and then he found out about us all being presumed dead, lost at sea. Is that Squirrel Sniper? Yes, it is. Willkommen.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Just finished dinner, sorting the kids out.
Nice.
I got my own time now.
Don't you just love that?
Nice. Family things, get them out of the way. Yeah,
no, that's good. That's priorities. That's good priorities.
Yeah, I try and juggle things during the day, but I see people whenever I go on. Doesn't matter whenever I go on. There's some people at 3 o'clock in the morning. They're still in there. How do people do it sometimes? But people do. It's 24 hours, truth. That's what it is.
Here we go, Papa Squatch as well.
No.
Welcome. Actually, I should have had this lined up for all of you. So just want to say welcome to all my panel.
Greetings and salutations.
How you doing, mate?
Evening, Sass.
Hey, Sniper, how you doing, bud?
It's afternoon for you, isn't it? Or day? Midday?
It is 4:40. That cannot... Is 4:40?
You're 5 hours behind us, aren't you? So you're 4:40 it should be with you. Yeah. Sasquatch is...
Yep. So we're in the same time zone.
He's in Georgia. Is that the same time? Georgia's the same time zone as... Oh, yeah, of course, you're in...
East Coast.
It's 4:40 in the afternoon.
Are you're in North or South, Em? You're South, aren't you?
I'm North Carolina. I'm right above. Dude, I did not realize till just now that it was 4:40. I've only been up for like maybe 2 or 3 hours. It's because it hit ass. I didn't even know what fucking time it was, y'all. For some reason, I thought it was noon, bro.
So you had we heard a little bit about this. Did you have a little tipple last night, Sasquatch?
Oh, no, sir. I don't have little tipples.
Yeah.
No, you have a large tipple.
I drink the whole
Was it single malt?
Just rum. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you remember talking to me?
Absolutely.
Dark
Gold.
rum.
It's like party gold.
Ice rum.
Huh?
I like me a I used to like me a spiced rum, Morgan
I've
spiced.
never been able to do spiced rub, man. There's something about those darn spices that turn my tongue sideways. Rub is supposed to be enjoyable, and when you add a spice to it, it becomes weird and obnoxious.
Depends if you're drinking it neat or with a mixer.
Oh yeah,
Because
no,
it's
I don't.
nice. Spiced rum's nice with Coke. It tastes like Dr.
Yes.
Pepper.
Yep.
Okay, blasphemy and wrong, but okay.
But then just have a
Blasphemy
Dr.
'cause
Pepper.
Blasphemy and wrong why?
Because it doesn't taste like Dr. Pepper at all. It tastes like Coke Wood or Coke Zero or something. It's like
Well,
just
what
a
did you
weird thing that's not
say?
Coke.
You don't use Coke
Weird.
Zero for a start. No, never
Tanqueray
use Coke.
tastes
No,
like
I remember
cones.
I'm sure it was Morgan spiced rum with Coke, and I was like, well, that tastes a bit like a Dr. Pepper.
Well, it might taste a bit like a Dr. Pepper, kind of the same way an oak leaf tastes a bit like cannabis. Just saying, like, these are two different creatures that shouldn't be put in the same kennel, you know?
No, that's not true. Did you guys know that you're not supposed to ever use Diet Coke when you're drinking liquor, ever, as a chaser or any of that, or mixer? You don't
Diet,
use
full
Diet.
stop. No.
I'm just I'm just reading the comments here. So I just want to comment on this, or I just want to weigh in on this, or respond. Dana says, "Who are the normies?" And people say, "Oh, you know, the people that are still sleeping, the normal people." I don't mean it in a disparaging way. I mean, like, I am not normal at all in any way, shape, or form. But I would say that my sister is much more normal. She's got, you know, she's got a fat. She's plugged into MSM. I suppose it's people that are still getting their information from mainstream media. I would call normies, because the you know, your average Joe public. I don't mean it in a bad way.
They don't even.
But what?
The normies are the ones that don't even know they're conforming.
Yeah.
That's the way I simply look at it. If they don't, they can't even look for any information. They don't want to look for any information.
No, they won't. They just take everything at face value.
Well, they kind of don't even have the initiative.
They want to be normal. They don't want to be anything else but normal.
No, they don't want to stand out. They absolutely don't want to stand out.
It's all about ridicule. It's all about, you know, their bubble, you know. And even though their bubble is shit, they don't. They feel like, you know, they don't want to upset the bubble and let it happen, you know, naturally. But it's not natural.
So what Gillian said, it's true. Labels do create a divide. Rich is trying to build a bridge here. Probably doesn't have another word to use for people who haven't allowed their minds to open to the world around them. I am absolutely trying to build a bridge. Thank you for.
I'll make a run at this one.
Recognizing that, I'm definitely trying to. I just want to get everybody.
Well, this chap's got how many subscribers? Nearly 100,000.
This chap has, yeah. And this is the thing. This is what I'm saying. Like, when I say normies, what I mean is, just a completely different demographic to the people that I speak to. You know, to people like us who we're not normal.
People are plugged in.
We are awesome. We're not normal. We are super. We are magnificent. We are like amazing. You know that we can all see you there, Em, don't you?
Yes, I know. I'm fully aware of that, and I'm trying to cover it as much as possible. But I also had to put on some tanner. Remember, I do got a funeral that I have to go to within the next day or so. And I didn't want to look white as hell like I live in a basement. So, but yeah, I'm in my underwear. Well,
You're very athletic. You're very athletic. You have a very athletic body there.
Well, that's because the way my dad trained me. My dad is a martial artist, and he was also
How,
trained by a Golden Globe. We sparred a lot.
how many children have you had? How many
4.
children have you had?
4.
This, ladies and gentlemen, this
Stretch most
lady
of
here
the
has
house
had
came from one child.
4 children.
Yeah.
That's insane.
4 kids. 4 kids.
That's insane.
But I started early.
That's a kickboxing body you've got.
Yeah,
there.
that is a bit of a kickboxing body you've got there. That's why I'm like,
Oh yeah.
That's one of my
The law,
that's one
dude,
of my chat up lines. What kickboxing
little
gym do you
cage
go to?
fighter.
Yeah.
Little cage fighter. You could just imagine being a little cage fighter as well, man.
Wouldn't even get to
Dude,
the first round.
The women's MMA, y'all would love it.
They wouldn't make the facial.
I'm serious. I will. I'll be standing on the TV like, come on, girl, get it. Like I'm getting so.
Do you know, it's really funny. I went through a period where I was uncomfortable watching physical, violent combat, contact sports,
Yeah.
and I just didn't like watching it. And then one day, I did, and now I do like watching it. I like watching 2 men fighting.
Careful.
I like the UFC. I don't like wrestling. I've never liked WWE, WWF, and all that. I've never liked that. I've always thought that.
Dudes dancing in leotards. I don't give a fuck.
My mom would die. That's just acting. That's just acting. But I tell you what, UFC, some of the cage fighting, man.
Have you seen some of the extreme stuff from Russia? And they actually have armor, and they put armor. They're like knights in armor, and they've got maces, and they go different rounds with different weapons, and they do hand to hand. It's absolutely amazing. It's like it's how it was back then. If you were in the middle of a full battle and you just turned around to see 2 knights fighting each other. Incredible. And it's not fake, it's not it's not like your WWF, as it were, where it's all about their ego. This is about 2 men and their tactics.
I was there's something there has to be something honorable in 2 men standing up again,
both willing to fight each other. When it's one-sided, it's not interesting at all, is it?
No,
sometimes at the start of the match, you look at them, and even just the matchup, you can probably tell who's going to win and by how many rounds.
I have
you get the occasional guy that comes out of nowhere, though.
I have a video that I've saved that has basic proof that since about 14,000 years ago, human condition has been changing through the reduction of brain size as a byproduct of self-domesticative rituals.
Right.
And the debate currently stands around the concept that in the early, and of course we're going to have to go off the evolution thing because that's where the video was at. So we kind of got to stick the paradigm that's set forth in the video itself, right? Yeah. They were of the opinion that part of what had caused it was the idea of speech and the ability to team up as 3 lesser powerful individuals take out a bully individual, right?
Yeah.
And then the ability to develop more lethal weapons and then weapons that act from a distance. But I'm curious, where does the aggression factor dissociate from the lethality of the weapon? Is it at the point where you can throw a spear and kill someone or shoot an arrow and kill someone? Is that the disconnect? Because you got to admit, to use a bow in the first place, to have invented a bow in the very first place means that you want to remove yourself from the danger of the actual fight.
Yeah.
The question question comes, was it the desire to remove themselves from the hunt aspect of the fight or the fight aspect of the hunt that drove the development of the bow, or was it the necessity to remove yourself from the danger of competition with other humans?
I think it was for the hunt.
You
I think it was
bow
for the
was
hunt.
more for the hunt.
Yeah, for the quick running animals and a fast
And for
reloading.
the ones that you don't, like for the deer and stuff, definitely, you know, because as soon as that deer senses you, it's gone. You can get it. You can actually get it from a distance, and you know, it's definitely, I think, for the hunt.
Spears, you know, close quarters for big pigs and boars, where you just jump on top of them. You know, you'd have a different variety of weapons for a different variety of meat and game. You know, you'd be using nets for birds.
That is not the way I would use a spear.
But you're not going to mess around. You're hunting for survival, like hunter-gatherers. When we talk, you're hunting for. You're not going to mess about. You're just going to do
this
what.
Is David, by the way.
Sorry,
welcome David to the panel.
Nice to meet you, Dave.
You're just going to go. You just going to go with what is most efficient, what kills the animal fastest, so you can eat it.
Then it's a
and
trap.
with the least, and so that you don't have to get, like, particularly with a more dangerous animal, that you don't have to get too close to it.
And yet again, I showed the pit trap. The most basic trap ever developed, the most basic trap ever developed, is also the most effective trap at capturing all of those things. Capturing, killing, making it easy to kill, dispatch easily without injuring yourself. You build a pit trap and you drive the animal to it. Been done for millennia.
You have to draw. The thing is, you have to draw the animal to it. You have to bring it in, you know. And if it's a waiting game, you know. Whereas if you want to actually go after it, it's a different matter.
A pit trap is great. Pit traps are great in a jungle, or but if you're out if you're in the mountains or something, and it's bedrock.
Bedrock is an issue. We can't really get around that one. You
still have deadfall traps, so you know you still have something that will actually fall on top of it.
Yeah.
There are ways around, you know, the terrain.
That I would argue the deadfall trap is more complicated than the pit trap, and just as complicated. The amount of planning that goes into a deadfall trap involves an entire village putting an animal in a given location to trigger it.
Well, the smaller the animal, the easier it is, of course, you know.
Sure.
Depends what you want to catch.
Because I'm pretty quick.
Big up Summer. Everybody's in the Magic Tree House. If there's anyone feeling lonely in 007.
I started off in 007 and you were saying hello to everyone and I was scratching my head.
I should really have
I don't have research. How can I stream this?
I should really be using a different platform.
Can you get a link to your other channel as well? I don't know how you do it, but yeah. I'm subscribed to one, but I don't have a link to the other one.
Do you know which one you're subscribed to?
Bond, the Bond one. I'm
subscribed
to.
007.
Yeah.
007.
No, that's not 007. You're saying it wrong. It's 007.
Hang on. I've got a thing for it.
He's got a clip.
It's 007.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit more. So.
It should be the.
I'll put a link. Yeah, I'll put a link to the video, and you. That's not a link to the video. That's a link to the. Crying out loud! Come on,
Sorry for being a fan.
Right, there's a link to the video on 007, so you'll be able to get to it through that.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Summer, dude, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome to come on if you're about. If you're free. It's Saturday today, isn't it?
Yeah, Saturday night.
I thought it was Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know what day it was, to be honest. Really.
Oh,
it could be a Wednesday.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. what day it is, but like you know, when the young people go out, it's normally Friday or Saturday. But I'm not young anymore, unfortunately. So.
It's funny, isn't it? I don't know if it's the same in America. Sasquatch and M. In the UK, right? It used to be that Friday night was the night. Friday night is when you went out. Everyone went out on a Friday night. It was all about Friday night.
Yeah.
And then at some point
Saturday.
in the noughties, it changed to Saturday.
Yeah.
And then it was Saturday night.
I know exactly what caused it. I don't know about across the pond, but over here, there were a few very minor changes in litigation that took place involving work hours, where Saturdays got put back on the menu as a normal work day. And so most people, or at least a large significant number of people who would ordinarily go out on Friday, end up going out on Saturday instead.
Because they're working on the Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't go out Friday night. Instead, they wait till the following day. Here, locally, if you're out past about 10:30 on a Saturday night, which ain't terrible late. I'm sorry, I just saw you do something very dangerous, and I'm going to beg you not to do that again. Never, ever use a mod while it's plugged up. I know it's safe and you're good at this and you know what you're doing and all that stuff, but the way electricity works is bad in that situation.
I don't know. What did you do? Who did what?
He hit the vape and it was plugged into the wall socket. And some vapes don't have a disconnect on the button to prevent a total feedback through it. I have seen one explode in someone's hand. And when I saw him do it, my little booty hole puckered up. I was like,
I've seen someone's vape. I've seen it was on a CCTV thing though, but it was in a garage, and it was a guy's vape blew up.
Dude,
he was
I was sitting in a freaking truck with him. And let me tell you, it's worse than you think, because I know what you're thinking. Oh, he had it plugged into the truck power and he just touched it and it went kapoof. And, no, sir. This moron, unbeknownst to me, had brought a drop cord out to the garage and run it up into the window and was sitting there with it charging while we were talking and trying to figure out where we were going to go that night. And and I'll never forget it. He hit it a few times, but damn, plugged it in, reached up, and as he's reaching up, I was reaching over to push it out of his hand, because no, you don't do that. That's inappropriate and wrong. And just as I put my hand up, that thing flashed blue, and to this day, I have an outline of my hand and my eyesight flare. Like, homie had the end of his nose singed, and I thought he had been shot in the mouth by the darn thing, because no joke, a smoke ring blew out his mouth when it triggered. It went turned bright blue, basically cut it like melted a section about as wide as a staple out the side of it and blew all the lithium out between a couple of fingers. He ended up having to get a stitch or two right here from the metal that came out and dripped on his skin. It was a very, very good example of why you don't do it.
I'll tell you what, have you ever seen a phone battery explode?
Yes. I saw, get this. All right. So I was working at a place in South Georgia. The team I was working with had a boss who put all of his information on a given laptop, but he never really updated the laptop until he bought a new laptop. Right. So he would save everything on the file, pop it out of the old laptop, pop it into the new laptop, upload everything, and then just roll out from there. Other than that, he did not use these laptops. What he did do, however, was put each laptop into the drawer under the desk every time he got a new laptop. So there ended up being like a stack of lithium batteries, freaking 4 or 5 laptops thick, right up under that working laptop. So I'm at work one day, and he comes in and unlocks the front end of the cargo trailer and opens it, which is the office, and that's where the desk is. And he gets off the phone and sets it down on top of his closed laptop, hits the button to power up the power supply, and steps out of the trailer. 15 seconds later, I just happened to be standing at the window in the house where I could see in the door. I saw a bright flash happen. I looked over, and that phone was spinning around on top of the laptop. with blue fire running out the butt end of it, like a freaking Roman candle. But within a split second of having noticed it, and before I could even say anything, it just liquefied and then melted through the charging lithium batteries on the first laptop, which went nuclear, melted through the bottom of the drawer, which melted through all of the other laptops in a row, and it turned into a full-on EPA disaster really, really quick. It
Real quick.
vitrified dirt under the trailer where it burned a hole clean through the desk, through the drawers, through all the laptops, through the floor, and through part of the main kill beam. Melted clean through it.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
just
crazy.
I like you mess with electricity because electricity ain't no damn joke.
This is dangerous shit. We walk
Well,
around with potential.
Magnetize
Well,
that by about 800,
Smoking,
and you've got
baby
Tesla
buying
cars, right?
gas.
I was speaking to a fireman. He's good friends of my wife's. She's her wife. His wife's good friends with my wife. And I was speaking to him the other day, and they have just been told that if any Tesla cars which catch fire now, they are to just stand back and let them burn because they are too difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
And they've been having more and more, and the press have been keeping it out of the press. They're not getting reported, basically. And you know, the fire brigade are now wanting to know why there isn't a proper look into why these batteries are just for no reason whatsoever, and there's nothing left of the car to even do analysis with.
Right,
and that's what they were saying.
I've let you go so far, and I can't let you go any further. First of all, they will be looking into the reason. There will be a reason, and they will be looking into it. There will be more and more Tesla cars burning on fire, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be more and more. Right, well, we'll see. And the rest of it is just kind of complete and utter bullshit.
I got a question.
Let me just hang on. Let me just scroll. This is David, right?
Hello,
David is a skeptic.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not a fireman then?
No,
he's a skeptic. But I mean, so David is a science. He believes in science. He believes NASA. He believes that we live on a globe. He believes a lot of what he hears on the mainstream media.
Yeah,
in fact, probably pretty much most of what he believes most of what he hears on the mainstream media.
Yeah.
So he's coming from a completely different. He's coming from, like I was talking about normies earlier, and like I was saying, I don't mean it in I don't mean it in an insulting way. I just mean you guys are different.
Am I no longer the most normie person here? When did that happen?
No, David,
I am.
Yeah, David is at the current moment. Sterling was earlier, but because Sterling was on earlier.
I love Sterling. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He was also because he was telling me you've got a channel where you just play music videos and you keep getting strikes, and they're actually you've lost channels because of copyright strikes. Right? I don't get it because maybe it's because of how it's done. I don't know, but I've got loads of copyright strikes, but they're not strikes.
Yeah,
I don't.
Get, there's copyright and then there are strikes.
Yeah.
Like
they claim maybe they get blocked in some countries, maybe they get blocked in all countries, but you can't monetize them, and you know and that's all it is. And I don't mind. I've had people copyright my own stuff that's 100% mine. I created all the music, I put the video together, everything, and people have copyrighted it, and I don't seem to have any recourse. I don't seem to be able to do anything about it. So I'm just like, hey, do you know what? If they make a shitload of money off that, that's really cool. Yeah. How cool is that? Okay. There's no point in getting jealous about it. There's no point in saying that should be my money. I'm going to fight him in court. If my music's getting played you know, somewhere, and people are enjoying it, then I'm happy with that,
The
man.
copyright
And I think
system has
Copyright by
nothing to
the
do with music.
Yeah, that's cool.
The copyright system has nothing to do with music. It has to do
No.
with the corporations that own the titles of those music.
Yep.
Yeah.
So most musicians are with you. Most businessmen are with the copyright claims industry because it is an industry. It financed the functioning of YouTube for the large part.
Yeah. So just going back to what David said, Squirrel. Just to let you know, he's a skeptic, so he does believe he's going to be on the side of electric cars.
Yeah, no, of course, because that's the way forward.
Climate change.
Yeah.
Has David seen the unmanned lithium mines? Have you seen pictures of the unmanned lithium mines?
Unmanned lithium mines.
Lithium mines, yeah.
Lithium mines.
Have you seen the pictures and videos that have been smuggled out?
No, are they on Earth? Are they on Earth?
There's about 30,000 people.
So they're not
unmanned
lithium mines to get the batteries.
How do you work in unmanned lithium mines?
There's no such thing.
The unmanned.
No, everything has to be collected by machine using humans, of course, you know, but there has to be a kind of risk effect. But these risk factors are them using their hands to dig. That's the difference, you know.
Let me run this one
That's
by
what
you.
our 10 digits are very good at, is digging.
You have a choice between enslaving 2 million people or spending $3.8 trillion on mechanization. What you do instead is spend $1 trillion on mechanization and enslave 1 million people. And tell everybody it's unmanned and outlaw in a country where they do not allow you to film.
I'm just trying to get this straight in my own head. So you're saying there is an unmanned mining system that is using humans?
No, they say
there's no such thing as unmanned mining.
No, but what is that? I'm trying to understand as well. Squirrel, are they saying that there are unmanned? Like this is how they're
saying that they're not using their fingers to dig for it, and they're using machines, which are operated.
Yeah, that's just a language problem. That doesn't make it unmanned. They're using diggers to mine for stuff. That doesn't make it unmanned. Man is still controlling the. Yeah.
I did hear that was the intentional part of the intention.
Okay, there was no one wearing gloves. There was no one wearing protective clothing, and they're digging up heavy metals that are under the ground, which have been under the ground, and should still be under the ground.
That doesn't make it just because you're digging for stuff. That doesn't make it manned. It means men working on the project to make the stuff happen. That makes it manned.
At every stage.
Yeah. Therefore, it's manned. It's not.
I mean, it's.
It doesn't mean that men are physically digging away at. Yeah, that's not what man means.
You've not seen the video, have you?
They do, but that's the thing, though, David. They're using children to pick through.
There are no machines in the video. They're just children with dirty faces, arms, hands, in shorts, basically.
Digging for lithium with their hands. That's where we. Sorry, hang on one sec. Sorry, what?
Sorry. Read Willow's comment.
Oh yeah, about going on your team. Don't I just have to give you my email address?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You want to send it to me?
Huh?
Do you want to send it to me in Signal? Your email? You can just give
Yeah, I'll give you the because it's not Restream, is it? It's StreamYard. I'll give you my StreamYard email address.
This is for Restream.
Oh right, okay. I'm in Restream. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll do that in Signal.
Bet.
Well, wait. So, the thing is about these, the reason why our community has got such an issue with these electric cars is because they're supposed to be the answer, right? But the thing is, with the infrastructure as it is currently, they cannot. There is not enough power for them to be able to service. If everybody got electric cars by 2030, there's not enough in the current power, in the current infrastructure. Nowhere on earth there's not enough infrastructure to be able to support that. So what that means is that and it's going to take more than 7 years for them to build that infrastructure, right? So what that means is that there's not going to be not as many people. It's this whole issue that Klaus Schwab is saying, you will own nothing and you will be happy, and you will live in your 15-minute cities. And, like, they want everybody living in 15-minute cities, all herded in with no transport, which means no independence. Like, I don't know if you have a car. Do you have a car, David?
Did homie forget about horses?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, horses, hang on, we'll get there. Have you got a car, David?
No, I don't have a car. I can drive. I've passed my test, but I don't have a car. Yeah.
You don't have a car. Presumably, where do you live? In a town, in a city?
Yeah, like a town.
Yeah, so you've got good public transport. It's all good,
yeah.
Right? But there's people that don't want to live in cities. They want to live out in the countryside, and why shouldn't they live out in the countryside?
Yeah.
Why should people have to live in cities if they don't want to live in a city?
Yeah.
And if they're living out in the countryside, they need transport. They need vehicles,
Yeah.
So they're trying to recreate society in their image, and none of us have voted for that. None of us have said we're okay with that, and you might be okay with that because you already live in a situation where you don't need a car and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that aren't in that situation. And there's so many, like, when you've got a car and it's taken away, like, and it's not like, I lost my car in the beginning of Christmas 2020. I lost my car. I couldn't afford it anymore because of the lockdowns and everything. I wasn't bringing the money in, couldn't pay my rent on it, and the guy came and collected it. And since then, I've not had a car. Living here in Tenerife, mate, that's like a kiss of death. That means that I can't go anywhere to work. I
You
can't
should try that in America. In America,
yeah, I know.
We don't have
Asheville, and I don't have a car. That's a struggle.
Which is
But you know somebody with a car. You know somebody with a car, and there is a car that you can use.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't be able to get by.
Occasionally, yeah. Oh, you go up and get one. Yeah, fuck that dickbag. My brother is still at the funeral home, and I have not been there yet because this son of a bitch is just so, what's my language all, but he's so insensitive that I'm like, if you come there, you're liable to catch a hammer. So I'm gonna get on chat with my people, and you better leave me alone. And he has. So he knows to get me upset when I'm with Rich and Squatch here. Because all I do is meet the market one.
M lost her brother yesterday. She's doing really good today, man.
Yeah.
But she's lost him in a car accident. So
yeah, somebody put out at a red light. It wasn't his fault, and he was on a motorcycle, like a motorbike, and I almost guarantee you he might have been speeding a little bit about it, but the truck is a truck. He got hit by a truck motorcycle. So he didn't immediately either, which was what is really, really hard for me to like run around. So yeah, but I think I really don't have much. He said, "He's like, you still got shit to do, honey." I'm like, damn, and I'm jealous. I was telling Sasquatch, I'm jealous.
Yeah, that's it. We're all jealous. Anybody that gets out of this bloody shit and onto the next level,
they're jealous.
See, that's the cool thing, right, David? We're all certain of this. We're all certain of this, but you're a skeptic of it, right?
Yeah.
Life after death. We all know we're going somewhere really good. It's like,
yeah,
and we know. And the
branded.
thing is, we all know, and it's not something that anybody can prove. It's not something that nobody can give
got
any
one
evidence
for you.
on it. It's something that you just know.
This
You
is
just
what I
fucking
know. I don't know about life after death, and I don't know about an afterlife per se. What I do know is energy is never either created nor destroyed.
Oh.
And while your energy exists, it will still exist somehow. Now, whether that's as a conscious spirit or a
That's the
I
argument.
don't know. I have no idea. And I don't care, because to me, it doesn't seem like an important thing.
Yeah.
Right. So why don't you all just commit suicide then?
Why? No, because that's not the idea,
No,
is it?
that's what we're saying. That's the
what a
PC way out. What are you
ridiculous
talking
thing
about?
to say. What an absolutely ridiculous thing to say, though. Why on earth would I want to commit suicide? I'm enjoying this life.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity to.
It's like Christians. Why don't Christians commit suicide? They think it's going to be better after they're dead. So why?
No,
don't
Christians don't
there's some
commit
Christianity
suicide
that tells
because
them they can't.
Hang on. Christians don't commit suicide because it states very clearly in the Bible that you are not allowed to take life. You're not allowed to take anyone's life.
Yeah.
And that includes your own. Right?
I think you find that they were the ones that were sacrificed, weren't they? They were the ones thrown to the lions
if you're not religious,
for the pleasure of other people.
But if you're not religious and you believe that life after death will be better, why don't you just kill yourself? No.
That's really
that
ridiculous.
Makes no sense, bud.
That makes no sense at all.
All right. Let me take this from three different perspectives, real quick.
Why would you not?
Hang on. Let me handle it from three different perspectives. Okay. Every major religion on earth prescribes the act of suicide as being verboten. Every major culture.
For obvious reasons.
Hang on, let him finish, David. Let him finish, David.
Sorry.
Let him finish.
Every major culture on earth, with the exception of 3 that I'm aware of, also prescribe suicide as being verboten. Undoable. You cannot continue if you do this. You have the Shinto religion, which doesn't glorify it, but does permit it under certain honorable circumstances. Right. Very specific honor-bound circumstances. There are a few other cultures that do a similar type of thing. But it is virtually unheard of in the human condition or for life itself to self-terminate. There is no upside to the self-termination of life. So if I believe that life continues, I never said that it got better or worse. And quite frankly, no one can possibly know. And so regardless of the anecdotal evidence across the thousands of years that people have believed this, I've done mushrooms. So I can understand how that kind of thing could happen.
And acid, mushrooms and acid, and and experienced a different.
Yeah, but it just seems like you're saying, like, once you die in this life, you are better off. Then why?
No, hang on. Well, so I think there's rules to this game. This is a game.
Yeah,
we're playing a game. We've been given an opportunity. For the way I see it is that this is all about the evolution of the consciousness, and the consciousness is the marriage between the spiritual and the physical. So it's the physical being the ego, and the spiritual being the soul, and the connection to whatever I believe created us. So this is about the evolution of my consciousness during this lifetime, how my consciousness is going to evolve, and how I'm going to evolve as a person, how I deal with things. And me and Em were talking about this earlier, about how much we've grown over the last like how much I've grown as a person over the last 10 years. Like 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to have a conversation with you, David.
Yeah.
I would have got so triggered. Yeah. I would have ended up shouting at you and screaming, you're a fucking idiot. Get off my screen, because that's where I was. But
does David have a higher self?
Do you believe you have a higher self?
No, I just have me.
There's a bunch of it.
Say again. You're
sometimes I get mad and sometimes I get angry, but it's all me. It's all my brain. That is the only thing that.
What about the thoughts, though? What about the thoughts that you have?
You do not claim your energy.
What about the thoughts?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, do you ever get these thoughts that seem to come from nowhere?
Yeah.
And you're just like, why would I think that? Why would I think about that? Why do, or like a conscience, basically, that tells you, you know, what you think. Oh, I'm going to do this, and the conscience, and this little thought says. And a lot of people describe it as voices. They say, "Oh, this little voice says to me, no, it's a thought." At the end of the day, it's a thought. There's nothing audible about it.
Yeah.
So it's a thought that says to you, "Dude, that wouldn't be a very nice thing to do," or that would be a good thing to do. If you did that, that would be a good thing. You should do that.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
You get those thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess all it is changing the perception from perceiving those thoughts to all be coming from yourself to opening up to the idea that your brain is more of a receiver as well as a transmitter of frequency, of like electromagnetic frequency. In that frequency could be.
So before. Sorry, I'm very drunk, so I have to.
Damn, bro. Yeah.
Dude, next time just lead with this, okay? You've been holding out the whole time. You're trying to have a serious conversation. You've totally taken the piss.
I have to stop you at every point that I don't agree with.
Hold on, man. I'm going to start telling Chuck Norris jokes.
Right. It's probably a good time. Listen, David, I'll just say this. Right? I'm quite serious about this. I'll just say this.
Yeah.
I don't like having these conversations with people when they're under the influence, because there's no point. There's no point at all in having this conversation.
I won't remember it, but I'm also brilliant. I'm also like genius level. Like, yeah.
What makes you? What makes you?
You can always watch it back on replay, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's
what makes you think.
No,
watch it back on replay tomorrow and see how much of a genius you look like right now.
More critical thinking than dreaming.
I'm just different. I'm different from other people.
You can tell. Most people stop streaming when they start drinking.
What's your IQ is?
I don't know what my IQ is, but I'm guessing it's going to be pretty high.
You're guessing? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I refute a previous statement you made. You said you didn't have a higher self, and you clearly are your higher self.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
hey, listen.
But that would just be myself. I only have one me. There's just
right.
I don't have a higher self and a lower self and a middle self.
Right.
I don't understand the question.
I have a different perception. Right? Because of my experience in life, I've nearly been killed 4 times. I should be dead. I shouldn't be here on this earth anymore. 4 times, not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. I've had 2 serious car accidents. I've fallen off a cliff and I've been curb stomped, and my skull fractured. Baseline to the base of my skull, serious fracture.
Yeah.
So I've like had some experiences, and I've come out of it with questions like, how did I survive that? How the fuck did I survive that car accident? Look at the pictures of that car. Where exactly was I? Where did my body fit? There's no space for my body to fit anywhere in that car where it was. And the other person in the car was killed instantly. Why was I not killed instantly? So, that's a question. So when nobody can answer that question, who do you ask?
Yeah, I'm really sorry, and to go through that 4 times must be really, really shitty. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, but who do you ask? When no human can answer your questions, who do you ask?
To God.
You have questions and you need them answered. You fucking need them answered.
Have any of you read
What do you do?
Land?
Say that again.
Stranger in a Strange Land. Robert Heinlein gave a pretty good answer for this question of who to ask when you've run out of authorities. When none of the authorities have any actual authority, who do you ask? And the answer comes down to, and this is going to be a little uncomfortable for some of you fellers, that thou art God. I do it as a joke. I speak to the Almighty to find someone of an equal to speak to.
Yeah, and I talk to him the way I do y'all, like literally. That's just how I am.
What I'd call
I'm
that
like, I get mad. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I thought we were cool, man. I look up. If I'm talking to the devil, I look down.
But I'd call that your higher self, and I actually think that in a way that's kind of accurate, because the way I feel about it makes Christians like uncomfortable, and they tell me that I'm in league with the devil and stuff. But my higher self is my God. In this realm, my higher self is God for me, not for you. My higher self is not your God, but my higher self, the one that I've been speaking to my entire life, has been my higher self. And the thing is, I've had very spiritual experience that wasn't under the influence of drugs. It was a completely natural experience, and it is undeniable. And I spoke to my higher self. I had a conversation with my higher self. So, and he set me, like, he clarified or confirmed some things, which is basically, we don't have it's impossible for us to conceive, not just perceive, to conceive the idea of what our creator is, of what it is that set all this in motion here. It's impossible. What's not impossible is to prove that this was all created. That's not impossible. That's very possible. The science is saying it themselves. They're saying the mechanics behind it. Maybe not the mainstream scientists that all talk and still toeing the line with this fucking bullshit, fucking evolution theory, right? Which has been, the thing is, what you don't know, because all you watch is mainstream and you don't do any research, you don't know that half the anthropologists and historians and scientists and stuff out there are all agreeing and saying, yeah, this is bullshit. This story that we're being told is absolute bullshit. Has been right from the beginning. This is not the way the world works. It's not how it started. It's not how it evolved. It's bullshit. We were created. There's no other way to explain it, because the entire theory of
there are no mainstream scientists. There are no mainstream scientists saying that we were created. This is all bullshit. There were no.
That's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you. There's no mainstream scientists saying it, because mainstream scientists are not allowed to say that.
By those that follow the mainstream
narrative. It's not because they're not allowed to say it. It's because it's not true.
No, it's because they're not allowed to say it. Do you not understand that everything that you're taught, David, everything that you're taught, everything that you're taught, and everything that you look at, everything that you listen to, everything you see, and everywhere you get your information from is controlled.
Right.
It's controlled. End of fucking story.
Right. The Smithsonians disowned two of their own.
Sorry.
No, hang on, David. Let Squirrel talk. The
Smithsonian disowned two of their own anthropologists in the early 19th century. The turn of the century, they found something in Egypt. And in fact, there was two people in the Grand Canyon that found artifacts of an underground civilization in the Grand Canyon. And that was covered up by the Smithsonian, and they were ridiculed and they were disowned. and they were made out to look like complete idiots.
Right.
And the media deleted them from the
Let him finish,
Smithsonian's,
Dave.
but there were still documents going before that time that they were still connected to the Smithsonian. So there were still records of them working for the Smithsonian's, and they had all this evidence that they created.
Yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't fit the narrative at the time.
Right, so what conclusion can you draw from that? What conclusion can you draw from
completely cover up anything that comes out of, you know, a
Anything
natural...
that goes against the narrative.
Yeah.
Anything that goes against the narrative, cover it up, hide it, dismiss it, defame it, make it, ridicule it, make them pariahs. And that's exactly what's been happening over the last 3 years. You've been watching it in real time. You've been watching how they operate in real time. They've been lying through their fucking teeth. They've been lying to you through their teeth on the BBC, on CNN, on Sky News, on MSNBC, on ABC. Every single mainstream news channel has been lying through its fucking teeth. And they're finally now, they're starting to let it out. Some of the truth. They're starting, actually, yeah, maybe it's not, we were saying about safe and effective, but actually test it on anything. And it turns out that really it's not that. It could be causing, you know, did you know that fresh air is now the leading cause of heart attacks? Did you know that? You know, for fuck's sake, man. What they've just done over the last 3 years, if people haven't woken up to how they lie through their teeth to control the fucking information that's going to you so that it controls your perception of what's happening, because your perception of what's happening is the most important thing. How you perceive what's going on around you is the most important thing to how what your life is going to be.
You can't be balanced, Dave.
Yeah, they might try
you
to
can't
do
be
that.
Balanced. You can't be balanced.
What I'm saying is that they're
the whole point is to be balanced, to see things from different views.
There must be a lag or something. My internet must be. People keep talking over me. Stop it. Shush. No.
Oh, honey.
You know that you do that. You know that you do that. So don't. Right, this is my stream, and I'll be telling people to shut up and listen to other people, right?
Yeah.
Which is what I do. So go ahead.
What I'm basically saying is that I don't believe you. And I know you have all these crazy like.
There you go. You've already dismantled what you can say. Crazy. We're all crazy.
It's your perspective. It's crazy. Therefore, you can't look at it.
No, that's your perception. Your perception of it is that we're crazy. Your perception is that we're crazy, so you can't listen to us because everything that we say is crazy.
No,
you realize? But you don't realize that you're the one that has to sit there drinking half a bottle of vodka to fucking settle yourself, to deal with yourself. Do you know I don't drink? I haven't drunk since 2013. I don't feel the need to do it. I don't ever feel the need to detach myself from reality by getting drunk.
Drinking.
Ever. Why do you feel the need to do that, David? Why do you feel that you need to have a drink?
It's just due to like confidence. Like I wouldn't be speaking to you otherwise.
Oh, all right. Dutch courage.
Yeah. How old he is.
Courage.
I'll give you that. A bit of Dutch courage. You wouldn't come on if you were sober. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But
sometimes I say. But yeah, did you? Yeah. Sorry.
No, go on. What are you gonna say?
No, I thought you were going to ask me a question.
I have a question.
No, go on, squirrel. Not squirrel. Sorry, Sasquatch. Papa Squatch.
Who determines what is and is not true, so that they can determine what you can and cannot say? Who is this individual?
Are you talking about in the mainstream, like on the mainstream? Who?
Yes.
Or are you talking about David personally? Like,
he listens to the mainstream and made the statement that the reason these things aren't allowed to be posted and said is because they're not true. Hunter Biden laptop is completely fucking shut down, yet it seems that it's true.
Yeah, no,
it doesn't seem that it's true. It is true.
Yeah,
it's absolutely blatantly fucking true.
Yeah, something either something either is true or is not true.
Who
What
determines
you
what
do
you
about
can say?
it from there on makes no
No,
difference.
sir, you're not answering my question. I want an answer to my question. Who determines what is true according to Google?
No one determines something either. Right,
Someone
I can answer you now.
Who's the highest authority?
Shush. Something either is true or it isn't true.
Sasquatch to shush.
Easy,
Oh my
son.
God! Thank God he's another. Oh, well, bless it. Lord have mercy.
I'm being gentle. I'm asking a simple question that you can't even say, okay, either this, that, or the other.
It doesn't matter what the individual interprets.
Doesn't it?
Does it not matter? Hang on a second. All right, hang on.
So no one determines what is true.
All right. I'll ask you this then.
I can't wait till he watches this tomorrow.
David,
No,
answer me this.
No one determines
Answer me this. Who has the fucking right to determine if I am intelligent enough to use my own intelligence and discernment to work out if something's true or false? Who has the fucking right to determine what I determine to be true or false?
Yeah, no one.
The whole point is we are free. We are free.
Was about what is true or what is not true.
No, the original question. The original question I asked you, David, you're not
answering. Can I finish your fucking sentence?
The question.
No,
can I finish?
No, you can't. No, you can't.
I'm not interested in bullshit. No, you can't. I will listen to the answer to the question I have asked, and you don't have a basis for it. Right?
It doesn't matter. Something either is true or it's not true. Something either is true or it's not true. What I think
no, sir. Who determines what is true? Who is the individual with the authority to dictate that this is true, that is not true? You're permitted to say this and not that.
Not even halfway through it. You ignorant motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. You have
to gotta go. No, you ain't talking about him.
Listen to me, you little cocksucker, all right? You little alcoholic cocksucker.
The only one drinking.
You don't come on my stream again. Fuck off. Don't come back. You're a little prick, mate. You're an absolute little prick.
I can't believe
it.
See you later.
Right there, whenever they can't answer a question, they immediately attack you.
No, that's just how they. That's how they operate. That's how they operate. That's how they operate, man. If they can't fucking win the argument,
there was no argument.
No,
he ran out of everything.
He didn't have anything. He didn't run out of anything.
He
had nothing from the beginning.
Idiot. He's gonna watch
nothing
tomorrow, and he is gonna feel so damn dumb.
It's not. Let's look back on his history.
That was fun. That was fun.
Let me give you a sound bite.
That was hilarious. Please, there were so many of them. Oh my God.
Strawman arguments.
Deconstruct that.
Listen, that was good. All right, that was a really good. That was a really good little interaction. All right, because it just basically it highlighted. Listen, do you know the trouble is though? It's them. It's people like that vote. It's people like that go along with mandates. It's people like that think it's a good idea that we all get fucking jabbed. It's people like that vote. Yeah, Klaus Schwab. Yeah, he's got the right idea, isn't he? It's people like that we're fucking. That we have to try and
make it hard. I'm like, we're doing this. We're doing shit like that. Oh God, dang it. Mm-mm. Help me, Lord.
Mark Garvey. I tell you what got touchy was because our friend David was drunk. Was absolutely fucking drunk. He was swigging vodka out of the bottle, and he got insulted.
By the way, I approve of.
Only when he admitted
he couldn't answer a simple question. He couldn't answer a simple question, man. Like who?
Yeah, it's so simple.
He even changed the question twice.
Yeah, he changed. That's the thing. Changed the question. Change the question to be able to answer it, man.
But let him blubber on. But the second he popped off at Squatch, I thought, oh hell, fucking no. No, he did not just do that. And Rich was like, you know what? Let me set you straight, little cocksucker. I was like, yeah.
Hang on a sec. Because this isn't right. No, listen, mate. You've been all right. I've kind of liked you, but the thing is, nobody's filtering your comments. All right.
YouTube, man.
Well, I haven't set any filters on.
Doesn't
so
matter.
you
Certain
Yeah, we
things.
don't do that. We're not censor Nazis. Whoever said that.
So
And
yeah,
if you don't
I
like
mean,
what I don't play. What's up?
There was one or two words that I've tried,
fine. Right. Well,
and
listen,
I've noticed
NO,
that what comes on.
go then. Go, mate. I'm not fussed, man. See you later then. If you don't want to be here, see you later. Nobody's but, you know, maybe that's why I haven't given you a wrench yet.
No.
Need to get a flight departure.
Wow.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Say no airport. We don't need no flight departure. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You ever seen that Saturday Night Live? They're like standing at the plane. The two people, David Spade's one of them, and everybody's getting off the plane, and he just goes, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah,
listen,
that's like, okay, bye-bye. You gonna lose any sleep over it? Nope, me neither.
Just to bring that. Here we go. Look.
I'm sorry, Richie. I didn't.
That's a damn day. You didn't do anything. Fuck that motherfucker.
That's all. I just rode right along with everybody else, and he didn't like it. I don't.
Sorry, I just want to.
I can't even. Like, damn, he don't know where the fuck he's at. While you're drunk, and in the real world, you were in the treehouse, which is not the place to be popping up Squatch, Richie, or Squirrel, and on my ass for sure. Because oh, good God, you talking about Scrappy? You better be glad we're in different places, because boy, I'd have jerked his ass to the dog shit out of here.
Yeah, it's only because of the alcohol.
The mood I'm in, I'm like.
But what an ego, though, eh? What a fucking ego!
Right? And in front of you know what I mean? In front of a lady.
Amazes.
I was like, dude, did you forget I'm here?
It must be the lag that done it, though.
Maybe. But
it must have been the lag that triggered him.
The mental acrobatics necessary to hear who determines what the truth is, and to answer 4 different questions in 4 different ways while changing the question that was asked every time. And I'm like, no, that's not. You don't know what truth was. No. Truth is, I just like pornography. I might not be able to describe it, but I know it when I see it.
Yep.
It did show me that I'm still getting triggered, man. Because
you didn't even get as triggered as I did.
I spoke badly to him. Called him a
But
dickhead
it did come in. He had that come. You know what he said to him?
No, I know. That's the thing.
He knew better than to say that to you.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Rich. It was,
you know.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
If we'd been, the thing is, right, what I'm not proud of is if we'd been in a room, actually in a room, and that had happened, I would have been wearing him up. I would have been like, mate, you want to fucking step the fuck up, back up, mate. You know, I would have been intimidated him, and that's not cool.
I'm a big boy, Richie. I don't have to intimidate people. They are intimidated by my presence.
That's true, actually. I don't think if he was sat in a room with you, I don't think he'd be talking to you like that.
Well, either from the way your background and everything is, I was like, this fucker don't even know who he's talking to. Damn.
How tall are you again, Sasquatch? How tall are you? 6 foot?
6'2". 6'2".
6'4". Sema's 6 foot.
No, I'm not 6'4". I'm 6'1", 6'2", right on the edge.
You're the same, right?
I think you've got to get past the cane before you get to Sasquatch.
But
I'm 5'2". You have to be scrappy bitch before you get any of y'all. Fuck somebody up over y'all.
See, I welcome these individuals. I really like the scent with that conversation.
I do too. I love to see how far their stupid will get.
What I don't
How was it talking to a genius?
Right?
Oh God!
I love it. They're genius, man, because they always underestimate the Southern accent so much, man. They totally expect me to be a moron because I'm and getting to and fixing.
But do you know what that is? That's mainstream programming. especially for English.
I love it.
It's absolute mainstream programming.
Maybe
Some
the
of the smart.
Maybe just the
his
word
lesson because the
triggered him.
other day he got with Richie over non-belief, and I busted out the dictionary on his bitch ass in a British accent and schooled him like nobody's business. I'm telling you, Rich was laughing. He's like, I love this accent. Oh my goodness. I was like, the audacity of this dude to come in here and act like he is going to school. What's he, like 28? How old is he?
You know what I would have accepted as an
My thing's 10 years older than that.
I would have accepted. I would have accepted him saying that I am the arbiter of truth. That would have been a perfectly logical exception.
You, not me, as in him. You, that you are the arbiter of truth.
I am, because I'm speaking. I think, therefore I am. Therefore I'm the arbiter of truth. Would have been an acceptable answer. You are the arbiter of truth would have been an acceptable answer. What I would not accept, however, is any of the list of companies that actually censor individuals on their speech. They are not. Except for
I think, really, in all seriousness, every single one of us, you are the arbiter of your truth, of what you determine as true. And you can only do that if you have, like we've been talking about, perspective, gaining many different perspectives on the same thing to be able to have a clearer perception of what it is that you're looking at. It's all.
What do you eat?
We can all literally, we all saw that just happen. But when we go and tell somebody else about it later, it's going to be a different one from the other, our perspective on that situation. Although overall, it was fucking hilarious.
I got a dollar that says my man has a degree from some university, some freaking where, or is currently in a college somewhere, because he is clearly more educated than anyone else in the room and is so satisfied by that concept that he never expects it.
Oh, yes.
Is happy for the system.
Yep.
I'm so glad he graced us with his presence. He should be so honored.
He's one of the smart ones. The ones to look out for.
He's like a little Einstein, you know. I'm so glad we got to talk to him today. I learned so many things from him, especially about how to get drunk and make an ass out of myself.
Name.
Who's the guy with the ZZ Top beard? Love his trippy green screen background. Sama, that's Caucasian Sasquatch.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Now you get to tell people you know as that.
Sema's 6'5". He's a giant.
Oh, you're giant.
My point is, I'm
my tiny little behind.
To 200 pounds, and I've had the flying hell beat out of me my whole life by everybody I've ever been involved with. Like, I just had this air of people not being physical. I mean, no joke. I've had cops grab me and I look over at them and they let go and ask me to come this way because it's obvious. Inside, I don't want to do something that's going to be painful.
Yeah.
There's an air. You have an air about it.
Yeah. It's just there.
You do that.
But that's the true.
No.
That's the true alpha, isn't it?
I don't know.
I prefer Sigma.
There's a short of a 7'2" German guy who's just walking around the town of Germany, and just wherever he is, so many people are just drawn to his awe, basically. You know, and he gets so much affection off people. But you can imagine a whole army of these guys. You'd be terrified just by looking at them.
Yeah.
You know, imagine them turning up onto your beaches and they're burning their own boats. They mean business.
If they're burning their own boats,
exactly.
Yeah, we ain't planning on
going to make a statement first, but you've already seen us.
But it's when these big, because they're 7 foot tall men that are just like bean poles, and they don't.
Well, this guy
it's the
was just
ones
picking up this lady with one arm, and she was just like a small child to her. And this was
like
a full, you know,
Wow.
a grown-up woman.
I think the giants that used to be around were proportionally, you know, they were giant in proportion, so they were really powerful, like
Yeah,
huge.
yeah.
But yeah, it's. I like being tall, man. I like being tall. But I don't know. Part of me
Hanging
wishes
out
I
with
was
tall
taller,
guys.
but actually,
I also like hanging out
I like
with
being
guys.
in the middle. If there's someone 6 foot, if there's someone taller than me, and
You're cool with
it's
that too.
weird, man. It's weird being
Yeah.
stood next to someone that's taller than me because 6'3" is it's pretty tall.
Quite tall. Yeah, I'm only
Taller than-
5'10", so I'm kind of bog standard, I
I'm
suppose, if you want to call that.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I
about
might be
average,
looking
I think.
down.
About
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
5'2".
yeah, it's you're 5'2". You're teeny tiny.
5'2", 5'2", and I haven't weighed
Teeny
myself in
tiny.
about 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm betting it's between 92 and 97 pounds, give or take. That's the average. It's a weird thing I have with the day and remember thing. That's why I don't go get on the scale, because it gets over a certain number, then my brain goes, don't eat. And it'll just shut down the whole the idea of food altogether until I see the number get to a certain number again, and then I'll just. But it's weird, and I'm trying to get past that because more and more lately, and it's starting to annoy me. I'm like, then I'll go get on the scale, but I've been avoiding the scale because it's stairs, and I don't go upstairs all the time unless it's to do laundry, take out the trash, or what else do I go up there for? Laundry, trash, and occasionally do the dishes before his dad comes home. Yeah, because I'm the devil.
Gillian, I absolutely agree with you, Gillian. We are here to help each other. That's the whole point of this. We're meant to help each other, and like you say, forgive, because we've all been fooled. We've all been hoodwinked. You know, and we even have to forgive the people that have done it. You know,
Yeah,
the people that have done
it's hard.
never forgive, never forget, but
Yeah.
forgive. You know.
Because
I
it's
mean,
not like that forgiveness will hold. It'll manifest in ways when you can't let that shit go. When you can't forgive someone, so you can forgive them, and that's more of a spiritual relief. Whereas the forgetting is the meat suit kind of retainment, I guess, of it. Because you always would think that in the back of your head.
The not forgetting means learning a lesson from it, and not ever forgetting that lesson. Really, that so you don't forget what you learned from that,
right?
But you forgive whoever, whatever it is, and it's got to be the hardest thing under certain circumstances. You know, how does a parent forgive a homicidal maniac for doing something really horrible to their son or daughter, or how do you forgive that? How do you forgive people, men, who repeatedly abuse children and all these really, really hateful, horrible things that we hear about? How do you forgive that?
I don't. Mind of the gap, as far as I'm concerned. We should remove these individuals from the population. The fact that they exist is a detriment to mankind in general.
It is.
And I don't hear any of that crap about how, well, back in the hunter-gatherer days, it was just so going. No, we are a society.
No, it wasn't. No, it is that.
Laws are chosen for the reasons that they are chosen for. And if you can't abide by them, you need to get out of this society. And there's only one
answer. To an extent.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I'm not, because I'm an anarchist, and I think we can, we're all meant to be responsible for ourselves.
Your mic, babe.
Huh?
You're beating up your mic.
I'm eating it up.
Yeah.
I'm beating it up. Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. I know.
It's me.
It's because
I
I'm
can't remember what I was saying, but never mind.
getting ready to do that. Oh no, we're talking about anarchists.
I love anarchists. Every time
You liar.
Anarchy, yeah. Like we're responsible for ourselves.
I'm not an anarchist.
Cause no harm or
Don't
loss.
misunderstand. I
Say
love
again?
anarchists. I'm not an anarchist. I love anarchists. You know why I love anarchists?
Why?
Because when this shit cup of the world tips over and it all pours out and I declare myself warlord of Georgia, I'm consuming the anarchists right out the freaking gate. They're my first round conscripts.
So
you see what I'm saying?
The thing is, but like a true anarchist is just it's just living in a society where there's no governance as such. Like nobody has authority over anybody else. It's if you can't
exactly
if you're somebody that's going to do like cause harm or loss, you're somebody that's going to steal things or cause problems, or like you said, then you can't live in this society. Like anarchy doesn't mean no rules. Anarchy absolutely does not mean no rules and no laws. Anarchy
no
means
governments.
You're responsible for you and for everything that you.
So when me and my 20 people show up at your house, work you, your girlfriend, and your 2 children over for about 3.5 hours while we have a conversation about whose army you're going to march with, when we're done, we're all going to
But you all would have fucking blown up, and the mines that I had set.
Okay,
and
I accept all of the problem with that.
Trust me.
Those pits,
Trust me.
those pits that we dug earlier.
That's why.
But the thing is,
you guys, I love you guys.
He fell in his own pit.
I told you. I already prepared Rich for this conversation. The other day, me and him were talking. I was like, oh, God, I fucked up. And I said something with him and Samuel one night about being anarchist. And he told me real quick, like in a hurry, how he felt about that. But I did not go into any further detail. Wait for you to do it. I was like, you'll have to hear that from the mail. And what's really scary is I do not live far from him. He will find me. And I will be, and all the other people is what he told me. You'll be training them as to why that's not.
I have to respond to this, Angel. I have to respond to this. Math and science is not a joke. Mathematics and pseudoscience, they're the jokes. Mathematics is a joke. Math is pure.
Is good. Science.
Math is good and science is good.
Real
science is
good.
demonstrable. Yeah. Real science is demonstrable, and math is pure. But mathematics and anything that's not demonstrable, any science that is not demonstrable as pseudoscience, that's all.
Well, they both include assumptions. You know, whenever you put an assumption in it, it's not. It's not.
Yeah. And math has got some connection etymologically, meaningfully in the word thing, right? It's got some connection to ma'at.
Entomological.
Yeah. It's got a connection to ma'at, the god, which ma'at is...
Tiamat.
No, not Tiamat. Ma'at. Not Tiamat. Ma'at. M-A-A-T.
Oh, okay.
And I forget what it means. I forget what that means. It means truth, I think. Hang on. I'm pretty sure that's what it means.
Or epistemology. That's the
truth. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Ma'at means truth, justice, balance, and harmony. So that's where math comes from.
Oh, I did not know that. I bet Paul done a thing on that one point or another, I'm sure.
Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I'm sure I heard it, though. I'm sure I heard that ma'at is where math originates. could have a look at the same time, couldn't I? Math root.
Math root. But then it might have to look up something totally different. And I thought about that. Have I got hair under my damn armpit? Shit. No, that's not what it is. It's a shadow. There we go. I'm pretty sure it's covered now.
Etymology. I think it might have been Paul. It might have been What the Fuck TV.
Yeah,
it was either Paul
I think it
or
was
it was
Paul,
Jason. Or it was Jason.
Might have been Jason.
No, not Jason.
It does
not
kind of
Jason.
seem
Jacob.
like a Bashir's Israel.
No,
okay,
Jacob Israel. I think it was Jacob Israel.
Yeah.
Jason was doing a live earlier.
Was he?
Yeah.
Bashir's.
I prefer. I like
Truth Seeker.
I like his. Oh right. I like his produced videos because I like it just getting straight to the point.
Yeah.
Because his chat rooms, it's got 1,000 people in there, and the chat
and they can get a little weird and yeah.
And
it's a cult in the chat.
Like to get to meet, I like the meat and potatoes conversation.
That is so funny you said that. You know, I follow true crime, right? There is a guy over there in the UK, and his name is Harsh Reality. What's up?
It's an English thing to say, isn't it? The meat and potatoes.
I love meat and potatoes.
Well, Em, you'd be interested in a case that's happening at the moment. I don't know if it's hit your side yet.
I sent it to her. I actually forwarded her a video of it, so I hope it's on her radar.
What was it?
It's a girl called Nikki.
Boy? The boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who,
they found her. And even I thought that was suspicious. Whenever
they found her,
I know they found her. Yeah, she was in Sunday, this past Sunday. So all week though.
Right. Bullshit.
Upstream. They looked in the place where they found her. She was able from the bench where the dog
during
was tied
the
up.
Interviews that the partner did
you
with
notice
Channel
the dog's
5,
name?
When he was in his own lounge sitting down with the Channel 5 interviewer, he said that morning that she went missing, he put the dog in the back of the car. In the independent CCTV that was released and shown on the BBC, you see her putting the dog in the car that morning.
Right. So
no one has picked that up whatsoever on any of the media streams. And it's only on the streams like the truth channels that are talking about this.
That you'll see
and
that
it's so easy to go and see, you know. And the body language of the guy was just wrong, completely wrong.
I knew that I don't know, somehow I knew they were going to find her in the river, and it was, it's going to be.
You know, the guy that found her, he's found 4 other people as well.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Oh, mate. This is a distraction.
You can't get any better than that.
This is a distraction.
I missed everything.
But you know what else I thought was weird? And so the first week that they were looking for her, that's when they had that Paul guy in the water with his sonar, and they didn't find her. And that's when he decided that.
That guy. Let me stop you there. That guy. He
did not want to search.
Yeah.
He said, "We're not going to search the reeds." Why?
Everyone to say that if he went in that river, he would find her. If she's in that river, I will find her. That is his words, and that was what was broadcasted on the TV.
Yeah, because he's got that 55,000-pound sonar equipment. He can find anything, but he specifically
he said the police haven't got this.
We're not going to search the reeds.
You know, I'm going to do it.
And I was like, that's stupid. Why are we not going to?
And then they made him escape. I didn't do the reeds. No, that wasn't me. No.
Yeah, because he didn't want to. I read an article specifically told the reporter that he didn't feel that they're necessary to search the reeds. And I was like, what the fuck?
they bring this other
That's where
guy
they
in
found her.
who captures on his mobile. He walks past all the police. Don't know how he manages to walk straight all past the police, but when they're recovering the body, you don't actually see the body, but it's all covered up. And he's just talking to the police officer and stuff, and blah blah blah. But then that made it out, and it makes the multimedia, not the mainstream, but just the general person look bad, because there's so many people,
down there.
trying to get a bit of
And
publicity and a bit of fame,
It does. It looks, they're
So there's so
fixing
many agendas running with this one thing. It's not just one agenda.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
Then brought up the menopause thing. I was like, that is so
And
completely
alcohol,
irrelevant.
and she was.
What in the fuck? Why would you even do? Why would you even bring that
discredit her
up?
while she's still missing.
Yeah,
this was
that's
before they
It
even
discredited her while she was still missing.
Yeah.
So they're gonna. So right.
I mean, it's so disgusting.
How
On
how
so many
far away
levels.
was it? How far away was it that she was found?
My dog was tied up.
It was a mile upstream.
A mile.
From the bench.
How are they going to explain this?
Well, they say it's a slow-moving river, but it's from the estuary, so it's tidal, but it's flowing faster going into the estuary than it is going upstream. So it just makes no sense to us, whatsoever.
And the whole point is, like, where the dog was, if she fell in the river there, she would have gone downstream, not upstream.
Well, yeah, of course.
Right. So this is saying that she walked a mile upstream.
It was 3 foot of water was the deepest.
Yeah.
So she walked a mile upstream, and somehow, or are they going to say that she was murdered?
No. She's walked in on her own accord. That's what they're saying. That's
she's
what it's all been painted as.
Are you fucking see? That's what they're saying. Oh my god!
Yeah, are they going to say she got drunk?
From all the alcohol and the menopause and everything that and that they had problems, and that there's actually some communities that they're saying that he's actually come out recently as homosexual. So there was something, and he had life insurance on her, even though they're not married.
That's all you need to say right there, babe. The life insurance.
And he's got a GoFundMe going all together. And there's another woman who's actually called Emma, believe it or not, who's involved with this. I think it's either.
Are you serious?
His sister.
Rich, did you hear what the dog's name is? The dog's name was Willow.
Willow.
Right. And now there's an Emma involved in the.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a patient about that later. There's now
Emma,
you should definitely know there's something.
It was this. I think it's Paul's sister called Emma. I think that's what it is. And he was saying that since the disappearance, they're talking, and why is it happening to us, and it just he was almost like saying that they're not guilty straight away, the pair of them. Bringing always bringing her into her,
There's no need to call it true crime if there wasn't the implication that it's all completely false. Crime is crime. You don't need the adjective true.
Well,
I ain't trying to be Alex Jones. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just saying.
I think maybe that's an application.
That's right. Emma was her best friend. That's right.
To discriminate between fiction and nonfiction. True crime are things that supposedly happen, whereas crime is simply something that can be invented. You can make up a crime and write about it, and that doesn't make it true crime. True crime is a criminal activity that actually happened in reality, supposedly. Historically verifiable facts. That's the receipts. I think that's the defining.
I have to disagree, but always enough receipts, in my opinion, especially after watching
Okay.
the Murdaugh trial for the last month,
All
to
right. So
substantiate
let's
it's
take it
true.
back to a totally hypothetical circumstance, and you tell me if this is a true crime story. When Cain slew Abel.
That's
Is that a true crime story?
There's no way of determining if it's true or not.
There's no evidence.
Now, how I feel about the Bible will start factoring in and all that, and I'll just be like, well, that's just hearsay at this point. My bad.
But yeah, there's a well, that's the story of a crime, but a true crime would be a body being found.
Well, the skull with
like somebody
the pickaxe in
disappearing.
the head. That'll be a crime.
Somebody disappearing.
I'm a genius.
And not being found. Somebody disappearing and not
There's
being
a pickaxe
found.
in the head. It's a crime.
It's you can't determine exactly what the crime is or if there is a crime. So it's putting it into a true crime.
It was suicide with pickaxe.
Mate, what about Mark Middleton? Mark Middleton committed suicide by tying himself to a tree with electrical tape, shooting himself in the chest with a shotgun, and then making it disappear.
No, he did not. Are you?
And that was they declared it 6 months
Oh,
after.
and Epstein's really dead too.
It took him 6 months to declare that
it
it was a suicide.
6 months to decide if it was a bloody suicide or not.
Well, I don't know if you've read all the reports that came out of Marconi. The 88 scientists that worked for Marconi during the 80s, they were all suicides, all of them, but they were hog-tied, drowned in water, like 3 inches in a puddle. Some were driven off with a cord in a convertible tied around their neck. About 8 of them jumped off the same bridge, leaving their shoes in exactly the same place. And there was like 15 years between these 8 on the same bridge.
All right.
How did 8 of these people from different places around the world that worked at the same company jump off the same bridge exactly at the same spot?
There's a pretty good explanation for some of this, that it doesn't account for all 8 of them. First of all, you don't know how many people jumped off other places from that company. And also, the only ones that were mentioned were the ones that were at that point on the bridge. And so otherwise they wouldn't be a thing, so you wouldn't have even heard of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Those things all being equal and fine. How many people unrelated to that company have jumped off that bridge at that spot? And how many of them left their shoes behind? It's an odd thing. People when before they leave themselves, they have one of 2 things that they do quite often. They will shower, shave, completely groom themselves, put on a good suit, pair of shoes, all that stuff, and then whatever. On the other hand, you have the other people who quite often go out in the middle of nowhere, strip down to the junies and pop a cap or whatever, right? It's the 2 types of people there are. It's the third people that bother me, the ones that are like fine on a Tuesday and end up swinging on Wednesday. Nobody ever knows why.
Your sound's gone a bit weird. Sasquatch. It's sort of popping. What it was.
It's because he's going through a black hole.
Yeah. That's what it is. So I mean, I think ultimately, that's an echo. I think ultimately, the entire thing is a distraction.
How about now?
Yeah, that's better. It's the distraction that's been basically. Look over here, because think about what's going on. Right, they don't want people. There's so much stuff they don't want people focusing on. Shout out Christos. Christos, dude. Just to let you know, mate. I went again. Yeah.
In the
For
States.
Crystals, just to let you know, I went and checked Tippy Stream and there was nothing there, mate. So you might want to just check your bank, because if they have taken it, then just get it refunded, because they haven't. It's not come up on my Tippy Stream. But thank you. Sorry, go on. Say that again, Squirrel.
I can't even remember what I said now.
Yeah. God, that was fun earlier with David, man. That was fun. It's I'm just a bit disappointed that he
See you later, Em.
wasn't out. See you later, babe. You off.
Love you.
No worries.
I gotta go take a shower and take care of some shit. Bye.
No worries.
Take care, darling.
Have a good one. Have a good one.
I got a question suddenly, because if she just spent the last 2 hours prepping herself to go somewhere and now she has to take a shower, what was the point in the 2 hours prepping?
Self-tanner.
I'm completely baffled.
You gotta wash the self-tanner off. You gotta wash the self-tanner off.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah. It has to sit for an hour and then I take it off. Yep.
Okay.
And then in my head, why am I tanner?
Why?
Because I'm white as hell and I live in the basement.
We could see why you would put on self-tanner. You need to go wash it off.
If you didn't wash it off, what would happen?
That's what I'm going to do. Oh,
if you didn't wash it off, what would happen?
The skin. I just keep getting darker. It would just get darker the longer I sat, and once I washed off, I'd be really dark.
If we kept you here talking, how long would it take?
Legs. How, like, they really tell or not, but they're dark. They're really dark compared to what they normally would be. Let me see if I can brighten the light up. Hold on. Normally, they're whiter than white, but they're actually super tanner. You can tell because my feet are actually white. See the whiteness on my feet? My legs are really brown. Here, this might help. See, my arms are kind of, well,
that's
so
racist.
This is gonna
know that. According to woke doctrine, that's racist.
Can you? There you go.
You do that.
I take it too personally
because I put on the stuff.
Number 3 and the color red, so it's not that hard.
If you want to look browner, I'll tell you what. Right, if you want to look browner, if you want to look browner, the best color is yellow. Yellow or white.
And yeah.
Yellow or white.
When I wear white, but gosh, me and white don't like me as much as I want. I would love to wear it. It depends on the shade of orange. I do have some stuff that I wear that I like. I'm not a big red person. I do not wear red. Yeah. You'll hardly ever see me wear red because it feels weird.
You'll be quite bold to wear red in that sense. Yeah.
I didn't always wear black either. I didn't used to be like either. I haven't always done that. It's been more like graphic t-shirts, or if I have a t-shirt, I'll buy that same kind of t-shirt or available so that I have them all, every color I want to wear that day. It's really weird. It's probably OCD, but yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, because you can tell right there the line, because I put on those gloves so that it doesn't stain my hand. So that's how brown I am.
I can see now.
And then that's how white I am. And then for your face, because with that stuff, you do not put that same stuff on your body that you would on your face. There's these droplets that you put, and then you circular them in. Otherwise, it will make you really weird and Donald Trump like if you were to just smear this on your face.
I mean, I have to be
honest. I'm not even that bougie, but it's annoying and it's exhausting sometimes, and that's why some days I just take the day off so I don't have to fucking do none of that shit.
I'm really lucky. I'm really lucky because it's good being here in Tenerife. Because if I want to go brown, I'll just go outside. For the day.
Yeah.
I'll just stand. I'll just be in the sun for an hour.
So in the summertime, I don't do this.
I'll be able to tan as much as you have there in about half an hour if I go outside in the sun. So I shouldn't be as white as I am.
And the reason why in the summertime I brown, and I brown way more in the summer, is because of my dad. He's native. So all I got to do is put on oil like I think it's Hawaiian Tropic, and it's, oh my God, it smells so good. I put that shit on, and by the end of the day, I'm like dark as hell. So I'm only
Hawaiian
doing this
Tropic.
so that when I go out and blind people with my white legs,
I turn red.
like,
I am the
you
quintessential
turn red.
neck.
You're a lobster. You're a lobster.
You're a lobster.
I'm descended from Irish and Scottish and English, and we don't tan.
Yeah.
But
No,
here's
you don't.
both my mother and my father look native,
Yeah.
and I'm pale as the drifting
dad
snow between my
lobster
freckles.
very easily. But my mum, you know, she goes dark brown, and I've taken her genes.
Yeah,
My
my dad
pops
is gray.
Even though I've got white hair, I've got my dad's genes.
My
turns
mom
White
red,
hair.
Native
is
American
very
red skin.
European.
But my mom would turn
Cherokee.
dark. She has bright blue eyes, and so she would just slowly turn darker and darker and darker and darker. So if we
My
spent,
mom will blister.
dude, I would be bright red with water blisters, looking like a crab slopping off shells. She would be over there looking like a native with blue eyes, and my pops would turn bright, freaking Seminole red.
Oh,
And we'd be walking down the beach, folks looking at it weird because there's nothing here that makes
your
any
mom
sense.
had blue eyes, but she was native. I would love to know. I
She was
need to know anything. I want to know more about that line.
She was pale as I am. It's just that she tanned like an islander.
How though? There's got to be something in her.
Sure.
Because
Sure.
my mama is white as hell eyed, and she will blister up. I got blue eyes, and I tan like a mofo. I do not ever get burnt. If I get burnt, it's just that little bit, and then I peel somewhere I'm brown. So
well, I've got blue eyes, and I look
and you get
naked
tan.
when I've been out. So,
Yeah,
that's because of my it's because of my genes.
it's because you just
I guess
things, man.
my North African granddad and all
That's
that.
yeah. There's something to that migration thing. I think there really is, and people don't, especially the dingus, don't ever believe me when I'm like, look, man, I don't think what we're all being told about the Indians in India versus the natives that were here is exactly true. I really don't, but especially after one for almost 7 years, I'm telling you, something ain't right. And I don't know if it's not. I do because I'm American. They've slowly infiltrated the White House, by the way. They're all over the damn place. Everywhere. 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 Just out of nowhere.
What?
Every time I turn around, Indians. But they've been here the whole time.
Oh, do you mean Indians as in India? Indians,
yes.
Papadoms.
Yes. And then they moved over here, right? Allegedly, because that's what he says. And I do to an extent believe that. I'm like, but I don't think what we're being told, for one, about the globe, the planet, the whatever we live on, is what it really is, really, like, for real. No. And the ends from over there and the Native Americans over here are in cahoots sometimes, I think, and they're lying to all the white folk. And it's one day we're going to end up like them on South Park, where they're waiting to get their Wi-Fi because they're going to take it from us, and they're going to. And I know, instead of the British are coming, it should have been the Indians are coming. It's too late. They're here.
Who created the term Native Indian anyway?
No, I don't.
Where did that originate from? Where's the
where
first?
Did India come from?
Exactly.
India wasn't always called India. It was called something else.
The India, the tea movement.
No, this is a really easy one, y'all. Basic history here. When Christopher Columbus discovered America,
yeah, he was confused.
It was India.
That's that bullshit history.
He was looking for, and he found some red people and went, "Look, Indians." and
that's not true. And he was a third.
The thing is, it was only one tribe. It wasn't all the tribes that painted their skin red with ochre, was it? It was only certain tribes that did that. So
yeah, but there were some over here that did that.
And anyway, they weren't Indians; they were Injuns. Indians are different to Indians. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Indians.
That's Indians.
I'm pretty sure that's racist, bud. I mean, I don't know exactly how, because I'm not one of those wokerati, but I'm almost positive.
It's only
the school
racist
that
if
I
it's
went to,
intentional.
this is how our town is. First of all, our town is named after a slave owner. And that Arthur Ashe from ESPN, the Arthur Ashe, he's a direct descendant of that. Samuel Asheville is named after. Again, he was a slave owner. Samuel's great grandmother was one of his slaves. What? Then, okay, we'll have fun. I'm sure. I don't behave. Then, what were we talking about?
Yeah, he said he had to go.
With Indians, okay. So then,
don't forget, every 10 minutes you're going to get darker.
Yeah. The East, oh, I don't care. The East, and then there's the East India Dutch. But I think that there was a migration of this. See, like again, it wasn't called India. It wasn't always called India. Just like they're just now starting to call it when it used to be called something else for the longest time. But now they're calling Mumbai again. But I've been living with him for so long that I call it Mumbai. That's what it was originally. And here in there's a place on the Blue Ridge Parkway called Clingman's Dome. It wasn't always called Clingman's Dome. The Indians here had a name, and when the National Park Service started, they renamed it. Now tribal people have gotten together. No, we want our fucking name back. We want that called what it was. And I think it was like Conisty, because there are around here too called Conisty Falls that I think that's directly related to. Then there's the rock out in Jackson County, which is a petroglyph. It's actually a star map, but they have the myth lore or whatever tied to this giant named Judakula that had 6 fingers. And he left his rock when he came off the mountain angry at all the townfolk one day. That's what the story is. Yeah, crazy stuff. My high school that I went to is built on those. You know how like in Ohio they have those big burial mounds or whatever the mounds they call them. So my high school was built on a giant one, like a massive one, and it was very strategic. Obviously,
so you live in Pet Cemetery then?
Huh?
You're living on Pet Cemetery. You're
almost.
This is
basically. And look, what's even weirder is the high school is called Clyde A. Irwin. Now, I got to look more into what he was about and why the school was named after him. But our mascots were called Warriors and the Squaw for the longest time until I got into right before I got in. There was another Indian dude that I went to school with. His parents lived on the tribal land, and Cherokee for bitch. It's basically, it's not how they say it in Cherokee, but that's what it is. And they found out about that and they literally had that taken down. So now it's called Home of the Warriors and the Lady Warriors. I was like, that is how we lose our language right there. That kind of fucking bullshit. And it was our own people that did it. I'm what they call a half-breed. At the time, that's what they say on either side, especially the really old folk white people and the old Native Americans. That's what they'll call them. So that's one of the half-breeds, which I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass. My parents are some of the coolest people, and they are part of the reason why I am the way I am, because when I say I was raised colorblind, because Mom, we didn't talk about the fact, we didn't even acknowledge, I can't even remember when it did occur to me that, oh, yes, way lighter skinned than Dad, and should that be an issue? They don't talk about it, so I never asked them about it. It was just understood, and that's how I viewed the rest of the world until I actually started seeing and also experienced race in different ways. I'm like, whoa. Some people, especially when they're raised in the same color home, I guess, just see color as color and don't understand it as a spectrum like that. You know what I mean? So their thought process and perspective, I guess, is different in that sense.
I found out after she died that my nan was really racist. Right.
You
After
didn't
she
know.
died, I found so my mum and my nan never got on.
Thank you, Dana.
Hated each other. Absolutely hated each other, and like they had a fight once, and one of them broke the other one's fingers. I can't remember who it was that broke. I think my nan broke my mum's fingers, or my mum broke my nan's fingers, or something. But it got really nasty, and then like we ended up moving away. Didn't see him for 15 years. But my nan, I found out that my nan was really racist, and my mum is she's dark skinned, like very olive skinned. She looks like she comes from Algeria, you know.
But you
And
don't know what that
I
is.
never thought about my mum not looking English, but she doesn't. She does look, you know, mixed race. I
Maybe
never
that's why
thought about it.
she's racist.
Never thought about it, and I never thought about people because my granddad had black skin, and he had friends who were Indians, and so when from an early age, I was introduced to people with different skin color, and it was never an issue.
Yeah,
Never an
yeah,
issue. And I didn't. I saw a little bit of racism in school,
yeah.
but not much. Not
My
much, really.
bully, I had a bully in elementary school. I had a freaking bully, y'all, a full-on bully. This girl picked on me every day at school. She lived in the street from me, so she'd get off the bus and just walk her ass right up to my house and try to pick fights with me in my yard. And she was a black girl. And she come up there with me and was not expecting my brother to be home yet. She thought he was going to be out riding bikes still. And she comes walking up towards the steps, and he fucking kicks that door open. He goes, "You better take your black on the road, girl, because you ain't going to pick on my sister in my yard again. And I will whip your ass." And she just turned around and went off. But boy, she gave me hell every day at school. I'm talking about gave me twice the hell she did because of that. I was like, "Whip your ass." But he wouldn't. He wouldn't. If she'd laid her hands on me, he would have, because she came in our yard. That's how he looked at it. He was like, "Now, Cece, if she comes in the yard and she puts her hands on you, then I'm gonna beat her ass, and it's gonna be okay because she came in our yard. But I'm not going out that fence and beating her ass. If you go out that fence and you get your ass beat, that's on you. I didn't go out the fence. I wouldn't go out the fence and fight her. She would have whooped my ass, and she just didn't like me. I don't lie. I don't know, because her mama was mixed, so I don't know if maybe that had a little bit to do with it, but her daddy wasn't around. And maybe she was jealous that my dad was. And she might have even thought my dad was black, but just a lighter skin black and not know. Because for a long time, kids weren't really sure the difference between black, white, or the black, Mexican, Hispanic thing. And because I've had friends of all of those. And my buddy, he'll have Hispanic people talking to him because they think he's me. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I can look at him and I know for a fact he's Indian. There's not a doubt in my mind. And my daughter is married to an Hispanic man who found out that he's not fully Hispanic. He does have a little bit of Native American apparently in his blood as well. And he was devastated. And I was like, no, there's a reason to that. And I think that has to do with that migration of the Indians from that one area slowly over here up through Mexico. And around that time was when they were called the Aztecs and then the Inca. Okay. And there's a town called Inca. It's only spelled differently. It's spelled Enka, whereas Inca is spelled Inca. I think they just switched up the letters to cover shit up about the Indians. They're all the same.
Or maybe not. Maybe it's linked to Enki. Maybe it's linked to Enki, and Enki's linked
could be that too. Yeah, could be.
Maybe it's
and
how
they
heard. They heard the speech, and
but the Inca tribe waited to Enki. But they're all the Indians. They're all the same.
Say that again, Squirrel.
They've heard the saga, and they've written it from their own sounds. Whereas, the actual language is written down slightly different. and translated.
So I've heard a theory. I've heard a theory that we all come from the same place, and that the stories that are told
I know what I
in
do.
all the
I'll take a
different
15-minute
areas
break. I'll soon come back.
are all they're all
Interlinked.
it's the same story that's being told.
Yeah.
It's just being told differently, and you know they've adjusted, and so
Chinese
everyone's
whisper.
telling the same story. Yeah, Chinese whispers. Yeah,
over sagas over many years. You know.
yeah. And when you've got these people that are controlling the narrative that gets recorded, you imagine if, like what Jason says is right. You imagine if there was some sort of EMP, giant EMP that completely destroyed all digitally stored information. How much knowledge is written down? How much truth is written down? And where is that? Where is that truth?
That was
How does
exactly
your average man?
that was. I mean, you only have to look at the price of how much some of these books are going for.
Yeah.
Now, if you can afford £3,400 for a book that there's only 17 of, and you know, if you can afford £2,000 for a copy of that book, then yeah, you're part of that elite club that has that information. Whether or not you would like to put that as a PDF and share it to the world is up to you, you know.
Well, apparently there's an awful lot of books that are scanned in.
Yeah, but like
and
Jason's video with the AI that's going to be bringing out here, it's already programmed that when the internet comes back on, because it will have an interruption at some point, and if they have their plans, they will come back on with a new infrastructure, with new platforms, with new regulations all in place. You're going to require your digital ID to actually get access onto the internet, and then anything you say will be used to prosecute you and take your credit score from you. You know,
this is what they want.
Yeah,
this is what they want. This is
full
where
control
this
of
is where it's
speaking.
This is
and sharing
absolutely
opinion.
where they're trying to direct it. This is where they want it to go. We really need to sort of brush up our telepathic skills, don't we? So we can communicate with each other without internet.
We need to start getting involved with homing pigeons.
Yeah, tried and tested.
Using nature. You know.
Trouble is, homing pigeons are only really any good for local. You can do distance, but
that's why you have communities.
Yeah. So how do you get?
It's like a burning torch. You know, a burning torch can say many things over a long distance.
But what? So there has to come a point where you say, right, that is that too far away? Like, how do we communicate with the Americas? Let's say everything goes down.
Yeah.
How do you communicate with the Americas? Yeah. Might be able to communicate, you know, within countries with homing pigeons and such like.
Well, there's always, you know, go back to, you know, CB. You know, the basic of basics.
But that's shortwave, isn't it? Shortwave.
You need to boost the power. It's all about having the aerial. You know, this is a flat Earth argument. You know.
Yeah.
It's about boosting the signal. It's not bouncing off of the iosphere. It's how much power you put into it, you know, it does refract, as it were, off of things, and weather does play a huge part in it. But it's all about how much mast you put up and how much signal you send out. You know, from Cornwall to Australia was the longest distance back in 1985, I think it was.
Crikey.
They were talking over, I think it was the cricket.
Oh, I think I know something. I remember something about that. Dana, I just want to say this is something that I've been saying. I haven't said it recently, but this is how I feel. Every time I hear people calling their children kids, oh, the kids, and I'm like, and I've made a video about it. I've actually made a video where I say, "Are you a goat? No. Are your children goats? No. So why are you calling them kids?
Stop calling
Because
them
they're
kids.
children. Stop calling them kids. Kids are young goats." So I see. I feel exactly the same way about that. English-speaking nations call their little children kids. It's true. America's the sort of I was going to say the worst at it, but it's they do it the most. I don't think they use the word children really, do they? In America, it is all kid. They're all kids. They're not children.
No,
Oh, that's the
I think they use it as
a
derogatory term when the teacher says, "Now then, children." You know, it's more of a, listen here. But when you're saying, "Oh yeah, the kids are out," doing things, they are out playing,
the
and they're not.
kids are driving me crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the terminology that they've slipped into society, without anyone knowing. And who do they sacrifice? They sacrifice the goats, And who do they really want to sacrifice? They want to sacrifice the children, because that's the most, what's the most pure thing on this earth is the moment a child comes into this world, That's the most amount of magical energy you have right there. And that's why sacrificing a child was one of the highest ranking things that a community would have done to please their god at the time.
So I've heard the theory that they that the sacrifices were actually willing, that people willingly
mainly drugs.
sacrificed. They were drugged. Yeah, drugged. But the
they had to
perception
show
of the
that
people,
they were willing, because it had to deceive the god. But then they also wanted to test the drugged person to see if they were exactly drugged. This is what they were fighting against, because they believed that if they conned the afterlife when they found out they were drugged, that's another thing about it. So they had to find willing people. But yeah.
Yep. I've just seen the time. It's quarter to 12, man. Quarter to 12. I don't want to be.
You've done a good day.
Yeah, I don't want to be up to. Do you know what? This last few days, I've like in 36 hours, I've probably streamed 24
Is Joe here?
minutes.
Hi, Joe.
Yeah, Joe's here, and Sema's back. Lev Kung Fu as well. Good to see you, man.
Hey, Levy.
Thanks for being here. Yeah, shout out to the chat room. Alva Billy, Dana, Curious Squirrel, Matt Garvey. That's everyone chatting, I think. Oh, Rachel McCaskill. Joe and Lev Kung Fu, and Christos if he's still about. I don't know if M's about. Em, if you're there, babe, if you can hear what's going on, I think I'm
You'll be in
gonna.
the shower.
Yeah, I'm gonna end it because I need to go to bed.
Get some rest.
I just need to get I need to get tomorrow. Like, I just want tomorrow to go quickly because then Monday arrives and I'll have some funds. I'll
Start
be
a
able
new
to
week.
fucking start a new week. How quickly is time going, man? We're nearly in March.
Yeah, spring has
Already.
sprung. I drove past the
That's
farm the other night,
insane.
2 o'clock this morning, and the lambings were happening. So it's all happening at the moment. Yeah, very early. Still getting some ground frosts in places, but the sheep think it's spring.
As Sema, later tonight for you, yes. So tomorrow morning, I'll do a stream in the morning. I'll do a coffee stream in the morning. So yeah, keep your eye out, and it'd be great if you could join me. Yeah, about like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So it'll be same time for you around in the evening, won't it? You're on the same time. I can't remember if you're on the same time thing as no. Joe's in Sydney, isn't she? And you're in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Squirrel. Thank you very much, mate.
No, it's
Been a pleasure, dude. You've had a shave as well, by the way.
Yeah, had a shave.
You've had a shave. Yeah.
5 years younger.
That's it, isn't it? With me as well. I definitely look 5 to 10 years younger when I've had a shave. If you can hear me, darling.
Certainly colder.
Sorry, babe. When you come back, it'll be all finished. But yeah, it's it'll be all finished when you come back. But thank you for being here. Thank you everybody for being here. David, mate, you're just an idiot for getting drunk and speaking like that to a fellow human being.
Is
especially somebody
he
that
let
you
the
don't
geniuses
know,
down.
you've never met before.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely let the geniuses down tonight, mate. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much. There's not going to be any getting through to him. That's the thing.
No. Well,
you can tell that he's way too arrogant.
If he has to have a drink to get on here, then he's got no hope.
No.
I did hear you. I just got out. I did hear you.
Well done,
cool.
Oh, all right, babe. Thank you very much, darling. I'll speak to you soon. All right.
Yeah,
take care, folks.
No problem. Bye.
Have a good night.
Have a good Saturday night.
And yeah, to everybody else, enjoy the rest of your night. Have a great night, and I'll see you in the morning, bright and early, for a coffee chat. All right.
Take care.
Later, so I'm going to play a video.